formation X-ray, inbound for a full stop, and landing 13 left if that's available.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, Palm Springs Tower, squawk 6250.
6250.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, Palm Springs altimeter is 2985, radar contact about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, you're requesting straight in for 13.
If that's available, yes, please.
Remember, correction, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, make straight in runway 13 left and clear to land. Wind is 0905.
Clear to land, runway 3 left, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance plus 4658 is type PC12 slam clock, request clearance to Vegas S file.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon. Unable to give you S file, and I'll be full route standby. Plus 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas airport via flight Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs, Victor 370 to 29 Palms, Victor 538, Cresso, join the Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7,000. Expect flight level 2405 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 126.7, squawk 6316.
Plus 4658 is cleared to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Cresso 3, and initially climb 7,000, expected cruiser after 5, departure 167, squawk 6316 plus 465.
Plus 4658, readback is correct. Tango D Mike, taxi to the ramp via Echo remaining frequency.
Taxiing to the ramp via Echo, remaining on this frequency, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike.
Ontario Tower, Cessna 237 Charlie Alpha, approximately 4 miles to the west, inbound to land.
Number 237 Charlie Alpha, roger, inner left, traffic, left downwind runway 26 left, report base.
Enter left downwind for 26 left and record your base, 237 Charlie Alpha.
Charlie Tower, United 242 on the visual for 20 right, will be turning for a right base shortly.
United 242 John Wayne Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind 170.3.
Clear to land, 20 right, United 242.
Palomar Tower, Canada 2080 Kilo, ILS 54.
Near 520 Yankee Kilo, Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land, wind 210 at 11.
The land,
Number 237 Charlie Alpha, runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land, 7 Charlie Alpha, thank you.
Palm Springs ramp plus 4658 east ramp with weather calling for taxi.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs ground, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Trail right via Echo Bravo 465.
Riverside Tower, good morning, November 2903 Alpha with you on the ILS.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, good afternoon. Runway 9 right, clear low approach, report to miss.
November 2903 Alpha, clear low approach, runway 9, next report is with
Palm Springs Tower plus 4658 ready to go to and right at Bravo.
What's the radio area check?
Plus 4658, Palm Springs Tower, runway 31 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff to and right plus 465.
Palomar Tower, Canada 520 Kilo, located at 24.
Here's our Yankee Kilo, roger, taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
Via Alpha to
Plus 4658, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure 465.
Cessna 7 Charlie Alpha is clearly active, taxi to the GA parking base.
We're 7 Charlie Alpha, remain on this frequency, taxi into the south ramp via Sierra.
South ramp via Sierra with you, 7 Charlie Alpha, thanks.
Number 2903 Alpha going around.
Number 03 Alpha, confirm going around or going missed?
November 2903 Alpha going missing.
Number 03 Alpha, roger, execute the published missed approach procedure.
Flying the published mid-approach procedure, November 2903.
Piper 2903 Alpha, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure, 03 Alpha.
Number 03 Alpha, departure frequency will be 135.4.
135.4 for departure, November 2903 Alpha.
Ontario Tower, November 516 Delta Mike, inbound ILS 26 left.
Number 516 Delta Mike, Ontario Tower. Good afternoon, Ontario. Wind is calm. Runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land, 6 Delta Mike. Ontario Tower, November 36. Correction, 516 Delta Mike, clear of the active uniform, taxiing to the south apron.
Number 6 Delta Mike, roger, taxi on the south ramp via Sierra. Remain on this frequency.
Via Sierra on this frequency, 6 Delta Mike.
Riverside Tower, good evening. November 2903 Alpha is video. The visual source on which you set position is left hand down as on expected.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, runway 27, clear to land.
Clear to land on runway 2703 Alpha. Riverside Cloud, November 2903 Alpha, in Alpha request taxi to the transient partner.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside, ground in the future. Don't switch to the ground frequency unless you're told to do so. You should stay with tower, exiting the runway all the way to the hold short plane. Stay on this frequency for now, taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
Taxi to ramp via Alpha. Roger. Number 2903 Alpha.
Generally clearance, November 6th, Charlie Mike Cherokee. I would like to attempt the I-4 rating today.
Cherokee 76 Charlie Mike, jawline clearance, good evening, good luck on the I-4 destination. Will be, let's go, Kilo, Oscar, X-Ray, Romeo.
That's Kilo, Oscar, X-ray, Romeo. 6 Charlie Mike.
Yes sir, good luck.
I'm going to sign off and collect some information for this destination. I'll sign back in. Is that okay?
Absolutely, just report when you're back with the I-4. And how long do you think it'll be? It's not going to be more than an hour, is it?
No. I have to file and get some charts and plates.
Wonderful, yeah, I'll still be here, so it shouldn't be a problem. And we'll look for your flight plan to come through. We'll get your clearance then.
Las Vegas Tower Plus 465 usual 1 on the right, 4500.
Plus 4658 Las Vegas Tower, runway 19 right, clear to land, wind 1807.
Clear to land, 1 on the right, 465.
Plus 658 exit right, taxi into the ramp via hotel, remain on this frequency today.
Exit right, ramp via hotel, ramp frequency, update 465.
Ground number 953 Whiskey Alpha's Piper Comanche PA24/Alpha. Like taxi to the active VFR east departure with the weather.
Calling Long Beach Ground, need you to verify your call sign, please.
Sorry about that. 916 Whiskey Alpha, November 916 Whiskey Alpha.
Comanche 9016 Whiskey Alpha, Long Beach Ground, roger. And just confirm VFR eastbound.
Eastbound and the east ram just south of runway 25.
Comanche 9016 Whiskey Alpha, roger. Runway 26 right, taxi via Kilo.
Okay, 25 right via Kilo, 916 Whiskey Alpha. Long Beach Tower, November 916 Whiskey Alpha, holding short of 25 right Kilo, ready for departure VFR to the east.
Number 916 Whiskey Alpha, Long Beach Tower, runway 25 right, clear for takeoff, right downwind departure approved.
Clear for takeoff 25 right downwind departure 6 Whiskey Alpha.
Good day, Palm Springs, ground scanning Double Hotel Tango, on the east ramp, India, close traffic, runway 31 right.
Papa Hotel Tango, do you mind? Palm Springs ground, say again aircraft type.
Gray Cessna Skyhawk.
Skyline Tango, do you mind? Thank you, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Echo and Bravo, 31 right, Papa Hotel Tango.
Rear center, 791 Juliet, towards ground left clear.
Okay, Skype 791 Juliet, we see there's no clearance delivery with this field, so would we get our departure instructions with tower or with ground?
Always go with the lowest, so we'll start with ground, just say your intentions.
Okay, Skype 791 Juliet, type Cessna 172 on the south hangars with the numbers requesting VFR advisories to John.
Number 791 Juliet, roger, departure frequency 134.9er, squawk 2061.
1349, that's 2061, squawk 791 Juliet.
Got 991 Juliet, read back is correct, are you ready to taxi now?
In a couple of minutes, just gotta go and get started. Sky 791 Juliet, south hangars, now ready for taxi.
Sky 791 Juliet, roger, runway 29 right, taxi via hotel, correction, taxi via Alpha and Juliet.
29 right, taxi via Alpha and Juliet, Sky 7.
Good day, everyone. It's CAT-11 day. Oh yeah, Marcus, good to see you. Bro Ninja, welcome. Mystery and Evanek, of course, good to see you as well, even though for just 30 minutes or so, as you briefed on Discord. Welcome, guys. This is such a wonderful day. Hopefully, I will pass for my CAT-11 and thus complete all of the CAT ratings as part of PilotEdge, the VFR ratings, and therefore I could kind of call myself a PPL pilot in Flight Simulator world. So that's really, really exciting to me because I have been flying for quite some time. It's now episode 92, something like that. Yeah, it took me so many episodes to get where I am currently and to be knowledgeable about what VFR actually means, to know how to chat with ATC. Hey Jacob, good to see you as well. Welcome on the stream. A lot of technical flying, also including those soft field landings and soft field takeoffs that we did in the previous stream. Even been teaching a bit, Mrs. Uncertified Pilot there. Hey Stefan, good to see you as well. It's a really important day for me, and I'm hoping that I will pass for the CAT-11, therefore completing actually the main goal of my season 1 of the Uncertified Pilot channel. We will do some celebration streams, flights afterwards, not today, but in the days ahead, and then start with my season 2, all about instrument rating, IFR flying. So that means more on instruments, obviously, and also flying in much more worse weather conditions with less visibility and also much more governed, guided by ATC control. And that's totally new to me, so I'm really, really excited to learn about that as well. And obviously, as I did with Season 1, I will share all of that stuff also with you guys here on Twitch, streaming my ground school training even, but also my flights. So there's still a lot of stuff that is on the horizon, but today hopefully signifies the formal ending of my Season 1, completing all of my CAT ratings. It's kind of like my final check ride, you could say, which I think is really, really cool. What are we going to do today? Well, believe it or not, the CAT-11 rating is all about flying from one Bravo airport to the next. Now, Bravo Airport are the biggest airports of all. Those are the airports where the big airliners fly, and we are here with our cute little Cessna Skyhawk 172 to make such a flight as well, even though it's not really such a long distance flight. It's about 100 nautical miles, but apparently, I didn't even know this before, we can fly towards or from these airports also with a small GA aircraft. So we're currently at a general aviation ramp on LAX, and that's really, really cool. Let me show you. Whoop. And there is LAX, guys. As you can see, we've got 4 huge runways. This is the first one, second one, and there are also 2 parallel runways on the other side of LAX. And we're on the side of the airport. As you can see, here are all the big airliners. And so there's one tiny general aviation ramp. Just back up a bit. Over here, this spot, there's some cargo over here, but here's a general aviation ramp. This is Atlantic, I believe. We'll look at the chart very, very soon. Bravo, good to see you. Welcome on the stream. So that's really, really cool. And I guess when we're going to announce our departure, we will get this taxi instruction going this way and then get to 25 left and then do our takeoff. Flying high again. Thank you for the follow. Welcome on the channel. Scotty, good to see you as well, man. Welcome on the stream. How are you doing? Good luck on the CAT-11. Wish I could watch, but I'm audio only. Oh, gosh. Well, I will try my best to also emanate my enthusiasm and my stuff through audio so you can enjoy as well. Good to know that you're here. Yeah, and then we're going to take this huge runway and take off towards the ocean. And then head out to the south, along the coast, all the way down to San Diego, which is also a Bravo class airport, a huge airport. Not as huge as LAX, but still it's a Bravo airport. And that's really, really exciting to me, because that means that also in the future we can fly to LAX and San Diego and also Las Vegas, which I think is really cool. Still, I'm loving untowered airports as well, and just the cute Delta airports too, even more than the Charlies and the Bravos. But this is something I didn't consider at all. I thought that it was even not allowed for a Cessna Skyhawk 172 just to fly at such a huge airport. And I guess in the real world you should telephone a month ahead to announce that you would like to depart or arrive at a Bravo, I guess. Merlin, good to see you as well. Thanks for the follow. And also, it's very, very expensive. You need to pay for the landing as well, and also your stay here on the ramp. Even for such a small ramp, I guess that it's a few $100s, perhaps even more, to stay here, let alone just to depart and arrive. So that's the advantage of flying a sim, because it won't cost us anything except for a very, very valuable PilotEdge subscription. So let me brief you on the flight, because we've got a lot to cover, even though the flight is actually more easy than I initially thought. Let me head into the cockpit. Boom, there we are. Also, there is a weird kind of graphical glitch here, as you can see here. I don't know what's going on there, but it will disappear as soon as we're going to taxi, so just ignore that stuff. Let me see. My iPad. So, the flight, guys, the flight. So, as you can see, here is LAX, good old LAX, that we transitioned over several times now on the stream, which was very, very exciting and challenging, also as part of the CAT-10 rating. This time, we are starting at LAX and we're going to depart. So, clearly, we start within a Bravo. Now, as I read, also on the forums and also as part of the CAT-11 rating description on the PilotEdge site, actually, departing and arriving on a Bravo airport is very much like a Charlie departure, or a Charlie arrival, which is perhaps not that surprising, but I would have expected a little bit more guidance or headings or stuff. Still, we're going to get I guess a ceiling that we need to stay under while we're departing, and perhaps also a heading that we need to fly within this first chunk of Bravo airspace. As you can see, it starts from the surface up to 10,000. On a little bit of the east side here, it starts only at 5,000 feet, but as you can see, there are all kinds of deltas here. So I'm expecting that we will get a departure here, fly a little bit towards the waters, over the waters, and then get a heading down south. Perhaps also staying a little bit low on altitude, because we've got departing and arriving airports coming through LAX, and they don't like a Cessna 172 low speed just wiggling around there, obviously. So they want to get us out as quickly as possible. So I guess a quick departure and then a heading down south and staying low, so we remain clear of all those sits and stars. Just an expectation. I don't know. We'll have to see. So what I was reasoning based on that expectation was we can fly down to the south, to the edge of that particular Bravo, and then I expect that then the controller will say, you're clear of the Bravo, resume on nav. Also, we're going to fly on flight following, which actually you should actually always do. It's just service provided on a workloading. If the controllers have enough time for you to do that, and usually on PilotEdge that's the case, and it also makes life a bit more easy, because you can just keep one particular squawk code, and you know that the controller knows what you're up to, and so he can already be a little bit more proactive with handing you over to the right frequency. So usually it's very practical to fly on the flight following, and in this case, as we are departing a Bravo, you automatically get flight following. We could also say negative flight following. Then we would still get flight following in Bravo, but as soon as we leave Bravo, they say, well, squawk VFR 1200 and goodbye. But in this case, we will just keep our squawk code because it's just practical. So I'm expecting to go this way around. I don't know if we're exactly going to go to limbo fix here. I guess not, but something like this direction. And then as soon as we are free of that Bravo, I'm going to continue my flight here. Going to go to 5,500 feet. We're going to go to the east, and I will show you the flyways, the VFR flyways soon, because those suggested to me that 5,500 would be a good altitude. We can also go a little bit more higher, but let's just enjoy the scenery. 5,500 would be great as well. And also a concern for today's flight, as you might have already noticed, is weather. We've got marginal VMC. Specifically cloud layers, which is not a good thing. Visibility is something that you can, well, work around with, especially when you're flying with VOR. VOR's radio navigation, but cloud ceilings, as VFR pilots, we need to remain clear of clouds. So if we've got a ceiling, which is usually the case with marginal VMC, like a broken cloud layer or overcast, we cannot climb through that, because there's no way for us to remain clear enough of clouds to safely climb through those clouds and just remain or ensure that traffic separation. As VFR pilots, that's very, very important. So then we're stuck and we need to fly really, really low. But I've been really studying weather, and I will show you another app that I've been using for a few weeks now that I've mentioned many, many streams before as well. But I think it's a good reminder to show you as well, because it provides you a little bit more accurate weather forecast. It's just a great free app. So we're going to delve into weather as well because it's very important for this particular flight. And also, the longer we take before I depart, the better the weather will improve. So that's also an advantage there. Hey, MiniWebs, good to see you here. Tim, what happened to flying from airport to keep it realistic? Well, I'm still flying from a airport to airport. I don't know what your comment is about, I guess. Oh, that's what I know what you mean. I know what you mean. So starting from the airport where we just left off in the previous stream, I guess that's what you mean. Yeah, Mireia told me the same as well. Well, I mean, I could do that, but I guess now throughout my training, I guess it's a little bit more efficient to do it this way. I have to admit though, I like the fact to add that realism and just to stay at the airport where we just left off in the previous stream, just continue onwards. It also provides with a nice spice, I guess, just to create new flights and to connect all your flights to your ultimate destination. Thanks for the follow, Donzd. Man, thanks. Welcome on the stream. But for this case, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Perhaps I will do that. I will do that, MiniWebs, when I'm going to fly FS Economy, which I think is also very cool. So FS Economy, we'll talk about that in future streams as well, or just Google it. It's awesome. It's an additional dimension to flight simming, added to PilotEdge, you could say. And the name already suggests what it's about. Which is really, really cool. And that might be cool, I guess, just to then stick to airports and move on. Yeah, I get you there, MiniWebs. I like that idea as well. And I started with the stream doing that as well, but this time around, I don't really care that much. Anyways, we need to talk about weather as well, so that's what we're going to do. And the longer we take here, the more the weather will improve, and that benefits us. So, what I'm going to do is, once we clear that brow, thanks for the follow, Lucas. Thanks. Welcome on the stream. We're going to make that turn to the east. This is just a plain heading to fly. I cannot use any VORs here to do that. So we're just going to follow the coast. I've got some visual reporting points here that we can use. So the piers here and the Vincent Thomas Bridge. So as long as we stay outside of that delta, and at that time we might already be able to climb above 2,400 feet, so we are just clear of the delta anyway. But I'm going to continue that turn to the that direction to the east, and I'm going to catch a radial, the radial outbound from LAX VOR, and at the same time it's the same radial inbound to the Oceanside VOR because we need to go south, and especially now because we have marginal VMC. I cannot solely rely on visuals of the coast, just following the coast. So I'd like to have some radio navigation as well. So this is going to be the radio that I'm going to fly. And it's going to be something like 115 radial southbound from LAX or inbound to Oceanside at 5,500. So we know we overfly the Charlie there. So we are clear of all of that traffic. We'll look at the flyways as well to see that 5,500 is also a practical altitude to fly at. So then just a plain radial that we're going to fly all the way down to Oceanside. This particular restricted area only goes up to 2,000 feet, so we can easily overfly that one. From the Oceanside VOR, I'm going to go down towards this particular fix. I'm not going to put this into our GPS. You can do that by VPSBL. You just put that in, and you can program your entire flight. I'm not going to use the GPS. We're going to look for this Paticuotos Lagoon. Hope we can spot that one. And I will show you why we're going to do this and not fly this Victor Airway, which you could already, I guess based on what you see here, because there are IFR arrivals usually on Victor Airways. As always, Victor Airways are used by instrument-rated pilots, based on IFR flights. And also on PilotEdge, you can expect a lot of traffic on those Victor Airways. So as VFR pilots, it's better just to avoid those. And you will see also in the flight chart of San Diego that the guys also prefer us to fly along the coast. So that's why I'm going to fly to this lagoon. And from that lagoon, follow the Highway 5 here, all the way down to San Diego. Now, I posted a forum post on the PilotEdge forum saying, okay, unlike a Charlie, I guess, controllers prefer a particular arrival route for VFR pilots. I mean, we could also, I guess, just as easily flown this way and just hit this Bravo, and before the Bravo contacted the approach, and on flight following we were already in contact with approach, and say, hey, here we are, we'd like to transition to Bravo. And the transcript on the PilotEdge CAT-11 page kind of suggests that that is how it would go. You just announce that you're there, and the so-called approach say, okay, well, clear to transition to Bravo, just continue to San Diego. But I don't think that that is actually, well, you could always do that, but I saw just one video on the PilotEdge on YouTube of another pilot flying PilotEdge in the CAT-11 rating. There are not that many videos there, which doesn't really matter, but still. Just like to learn as much as possible. And in that case, the PilotEdge controller said, well, I can only grant you a clearance through the Bravo until you reach Mission Bay, the Mission Bay VOR, which is all the way over here. It's just a few miles north of San Diego. And so that guy was flying here and said, okay. I think it was 3 Green Gaming, I think, who did that flight. And so he was right to turn away from this Bravo. He was flying at around 6,000 feet or so, or 9,000, I don't know even, which would fly through that Bravo. So he turned around and circled down and then figured out how he could get to Mission Bay without hitting a Bravo. Well, and if you study this Bravo chart, hey Sniper, good to see you as well. Retonator, thanks for the good luck wishes. Yeah, guys, I'm hoping I will pass. It's a very special flight today. Thanks for the follows. Prime Pro, thanks. And welcome on the stream. So I was figuring out this as well, looking at this chart, and again the flight chart will make sense here. We'll talk about that very, very soon. But as you can see, we are able to get very close to San Diego if you study these sections of the Bravo. If we fly at 5,500 feet, we can fly all the way down to this, right? We're still underneath that Bravo. In the next sector here, we got a weird stuff. There's it's kind of like a sandwich kind of sector. So it goes up from 1,800 to 3,200, then stops, then echo, and then it starts at 6,800 up to 10,000. So at 3,500, still going east, we'll still be able to fly through this sector as well. So if we already started ascent from around Oceanside here to 3,500 feet, we can easily underfly this Bravo without having needed any Bravo transition clearance. So we can continue, and even here at the heart of San Diego, you can see it starts at 4,800, so at 3,500 we can easily underfly this as well. There's only a delta here that we need to look out for at 2,900. Again, at 3,500 we could easily overfly that delta as well. And hopefully at this point, at Mission Bay, the Lindbergh tower controller of San Diego will grant us clearance to enter a right downwind, I guess, of runway 27, and then we land. So I guess that's the preferred arrival route, and it is based on those VFR fly routes. Hey, GPP is watching as well. Good to see you here on the stream. But then again, I would like to know about a general rule to follow, because I'd like to fly in the future also from San Diego to LAX, or to Las Vegas, or the other way around, or whatever. And I guess that the same kind of VFR corridor flyway kind of principle would apply, but I don't know for sure. So that's why I posted that as a question on the PilotEdge forums. Still needs to be replied or answered. So as soon as I know, I will share that as well here on the stream, because I think it's relevant information to know how the controllers like us, VFR pilots, to approach such a huge airport. And I guess the main rule is avoid as much Bravo as you can, because that Bravo is there for a reason, to provide radar services for inbound and outbound IFR traffic. So don't get in there with your little Cessna 172 as much as possible. And that seems like a sensible rule. So this is going to be the flight, the general kind of idea. Now let's look at those VFR flyways, because those have really helped me. First one is the LA flyway chart. And again, this is a chart that we have already been using for the CAT-9 as well, that shows you the preferred routings, you could say, by controllers for us VFR pilots to follow as we like to fly around the LA area, to avoid Bravos and Charlies and other SIDs and stars as much as possible. So just those controllers can do their everyday things while we can do our thing as well without disrupting that airflow, that traffic flow. Now, as you can see, starting from LAX, nothing really happens. We still got that Bravo sector from service up to 10,000. So I guess we will remain in that sector while we are departing to the south. We got here to that point here. I'm going to make that turn. The Bravo here starts at 8,000, so we're still far below that, I guess. And we're going to fly all the way down to this particular radial, right? From LAX down to Oceanside. And as you can see, there is a preferred flyway over here along the coast, and it says 5,500 to the east as a preferred, and that makes sense because we're still under this particular Bravo sector, starting at 7,000 to 10,000, and we are above the Charlie of 5,400 ceiling. So that makes sense. So that's why I picked 5,500. We could also fly at 7,500, but then we would only get to that cruising altitude after this particular sector. So that's why I picked 5,500. Evans Bart, good to see you as well. Miniwebs, all right, Tim, I've got to unfortunately get some sleep. Well, sweet dreams, Miniwebs. Thank you for saying hi, and hoping you will enjoy my pass for the CAT-11 afterwards when you review the video. And then let the instrument rating begin. Absolutely, I'm so excited, man. Okay, for my Gromeo, good to see you as well. Welcome on the stream. Okay, so that is as long as for the departure stuff. Now, if we now move on to the flyway chart, the fly chart, I should say, of San Diego. Here it is. You can see, if we look up north, you can still see a bit of John Wayne. That same flyway is still there, saying the same thing, right? Stay at 5,500. At or above 5,400, I even say here. So we follow this route as I planned for, right? For Oceanside. There we go. Here you can also see caution, flights below 2,000 MSL restricted in 2503 Alpha. Thank you, DJ, for following. Welcome aboard. And then you can see here, as I also already mentioned, that the guys like us to fly along the coast or a little bit over the waters, but not on that Victor airway, because that is used for IFR arrivals and departures. So that's why I picked this particular visual reference point, that lagoon that we can hopefully spot, and staying at 3,500, still above McLaren Palomar Delta. Follow along, start our descent to 3,500 here. We can still go below, right? 6,500 or below. So we're descending, descending, descending all the way down. And hopefully at around this time, the approach controller, will hand us over to the Tower of Limburg and say, enjoy your pass, hopefully. Shara Echo, good to see you on the stream as well. Okay, so that's the flight. It's not that difficult. The only thing was it needed some preparation, and again, I have some question marks about how to best arrive at a Bravo airport, because still these VFR flyways are not really stars, right? They're not really arrival routes. Those are primarily there for us to transition the Bravo airspace, or overfly or avoid the Bravo while going down south. That's what they are intended for. It's like transitioning or flying over a Bravo. So we could follow these flyways. It's a very nice corridor over here. So you stay a little bit to the east here and stay at between 3,400 and 4,600, and you can just fly without contacting ATC at all the San Diego Bravo all the way down to the south. I'm using that corridor or this flyway to get very near to San Diego, and actually I don't know really why, because I would expect that we could also fly to this Bravo, say here we are, we'll like the transition, and then the controllers would say, well, go ahead, like the transcript suggests. But I guess it would make sense after thinking a little bit about it that would not apply, because all of that Bravo airspace is used for departing and arriving traffic. For my Gromeo, when you're over Palomar or so, just request Bravo transition to land and Limburg. Yeah, well, obviously the approach controller on flight following knows that we are intending to get to San Diego. So that's important. If we are not handed off or received a Bravo transition, you're absolutely right. Then I'm just going to query the controller at that time at around Palomar will indeed be a good moment. And I say, how is my clearance doing? And hopefully we will get the clearance, or the controller would say the same for 3 Green Gaming is attempt, would say, well, just continue, you will get your clearance when you are nearing Mission Bay. We'll have to see. Now, again, this is the general idea. I think this is right, this entire flight planning. But It is based on the fact that we can descend and climb through clear skies. And as I already mentioned at the beginning of the stream, we don't have clear skies. Weather. Weather. And that makes this flight a bit more challenging, because as you can see, we've got marginal VMC along the coast. Let me go to LAX. It is improving actually for a few hours now, which is good, and as expected. Thanks for the follow, Alessandro. Thanks. Welcome on the stream. LAX winds 280 at 3 knots, 8 statute miles, that's good, so no visibility issues here, as we can already see outside, that's good. Scattered at 1200 feet, that's okay, that's not a ceiling. As you can see outside, we can easily fly along or outside of these clouds and get a climb going. Remember that rule, 3-5-1-2, 3 nautical miles minimum, 500 feet below the clouds, 1000 feet above, and 2000 feet laterally, away from the cloud to remain VFR. 3-5-1-2. But you can see there's a broken layer at 1500 feet, and that is called a ceiling. A broken or an overcast layer, that's called officially a ceiling. And because it's below 3000, I believe, 3000 feet, then the whole METAR information here turns blue, and it is called marginal VMC. Because we cannot go through a broken layer. There's not enough room in between the clouds for us to climb through. So that means that we are stuck at 1500 feet, and if we like to remain VFR, we need to stay 500 feet below that ceiling and fly at 1000 feet or so. Now if I look at the weather here, I can see that we still it seems that we only got clear skies here, so that's good. We can easily climb through this. If that's not the case, in the real world, I guess, but this is just on the top of my head, you can request for a special VFR clearance. And that means that for a very local area, for example, in such a case, when you know that there's actually clear skies just a few miles beyond the airport, that you can say, well, controllers, could you just give me some room here and allow me just to get a little bit closer to the cloud, perhaps even fly through the cloud for just a minute or so I can depart the airport and then be VFR all the way around. That's called a special VFR rule. But this is risky because even there accidents can happen. So you should not request for special VFR always. And obviously you cannot request for special VFR for your entire route, because then you're just IMC and doing IFR stuff. But that's interesting, and I'm not aware of that. I didn't study how to request special VFR. If it would be an issue, we could ask, and otherwise, as you know, guys, I'm always flying with real-world weather. So I will not change the weather at all. Glove, thank you for the follow, much appreciated. Welcome. And Ilyanka, good as well. Thanks. Welcome on the stream, guys. Much appreciated. Still, though, I'm going to fly the CAT-11 regardless. So in that case, if the weather is really worsening, which I don't expect, we'll look at the weather forecast soon. I'm just going to ignore that VFR rule. I did that with the CAT-10 as well, because otherwise I need to postpone. Usually there are cloud layers here in the morning hours of LA. It's currently just in the early morning, and so usually clouds are there, and usually over time the weather improves because the sun rises and heats up the air, and so the clouds dissipate, and that's what you will see also in the weather forecast, that it's actually going to be scattered layers or something like that, also for San Diego. Now, the way to do that is by, again, looking at the TAF, so not only the METARs, which show the current information, as you can see, 1200 feet still, 1500 feet broken. Let's look at the tabs, the forecast. And at the top you can see that's the first row shows you a very generic, huge kind of forecast. It's very generic actually, and it says from 1200, or from July the 26th, from 1200 to 1800 to July 27th, you can expect something like a variable wind of 3 knots and broken ceiling of around 1500 feet. And otherwise, it will stay marginal VMC. But a lot can happen in a day, right? So it's very generic information. If we look at the second row, you can see for the 26th of July at 1800 Zulu, we're currently at 1500 Zulu, so that's in about 3 hours, we have VMC around LAX. We still got scattered layer at about 1500 feet. That's okay, not a ceiling, but the broken layer has dissipated, so that's good. So you can see it is actually improving as forecasted. And the same applies to all of the other airports around the coast. And we were going to look at the weather charts as well to look at that and see what the weather is actually doing over the long run in the few hours while we are flying our nice little flight. As you can see, also some IMC over here on top at Fallbrook, but that's high up on a mountain, or not high up, it's 700 feet, but still. The biggest concern here is if we like to cruise at 5,500, at some point we need to fly through that cloud ceiling, even if it's a scattered cloud ceiling, and also not only climb through it, but once we arrive at San Diego, there must also be some room for us to descend through the clouds, because, and this is actually a real-world scenario, when you've got VMC for your departure, but when you arrive, there's overcast. And then you're stuck, and the overcast area can be quite significant, and so you might run out of fuel, or that's a big problem. Also, that overcast can develop while you are flying, so that's a really risky business. So the best thing is then to underfly the overcast before you hit your destination airport, but the terrain must allow for that, and the airspace must allow for that. So if we look at Palomar, what's the current METAR? No winds, 10 statute miles visibility. So again, visibility is not the issue here. It's an overcast layer. Oops, 1,100 feet. That's low. We cannot go at 700 feet there with the terrain, I guess. That's too low for me. Still, we're legal to do that. I believe above urban areas you need to fly at least 1,000 feet, or above big buildings even 2,000 feet. Over the waters you can go as low as you like, I think, except when there's a sailboat or something like that, then you need to, or a ship or something like that, you need to be a little bit higher. And it all makes sense. I mean, if you need to consider those rules, you're flying too low anyway. So that's not something that I prefer. So I would rather just overfly that overcast. That's perfect. And hoping that at San Diego, when we descend here, we've got some room, some scattered layers that we can fly in between. And that's going to be the challenge for today, to see if we can get to San Diego. So if we look at San Diego here, what is San Diego saying? METAR, it's currently broken at 1,400. That's tough. There was an overcast at 1,600, so that's impossible for us to fly through. So currently I would say the flight is not possible, even though we planned it quite well. Again, you should look at the TAFs. Strange Fire, thanks for the follow. Much appreciated. Welcome. Let me look at the TAF. So this is San Diego, 10 statute miles broken, again 1,416 up. Forecasts. And as you can see at 1,800, we still got a broken layer here at 1,700 feet. Well, 1,700 feet, that's something that we can maneuver underneath. I mean, we could fly at a traffic pattern altitude of 1,000 feet. So that is something that we could perhaps work with. But it is a bit risky. Nothing that I would ever do in the real world. But hey, this is flight simming, and we are just doing the CAT-11 rating anyway. So let's just see if we can just use it as a nice way just to think about this, considering weather doing these arrivals. November 90 Flyer, hey Tim, I will be doing my first real life solo next week. Oh, that's awesome! November, cool. Good luck with that as well. I'm very jealous. Thanks for the follow, Troy. Thanks. So, then I thought, okay, so the TAFs and the METARs are not that accurate I mean, not that fine-grained. So, this TAF for the San Diego airport was already 3 hours ahead or so. Right? 1800 Zulu, that second line. That's a little far ahead. It already comes close to our arrival time, by the way. But still, so I was thinking about looking for another app, and it's called the Storm app. Here it is, Storm app. It's very neat. I've shown this, I guess a year ago, also on the stream. So, unfortunately, we cannot remove the ads anymore on top. That used to be the case, but now it's just a free app that you can use, and it was recommended by me by Stevo Canivo. If you are following him on YouTube as well, he's a really nice, cool dude, commercially flying, and he's streaming his flights as well. Has many followers. He's really cool. Also joining up with Flight Chops. So if you're not following him, Google him, watch on YouTube. It's fun. And he was saying that he was using the Storm app to get a better idea of what the weather is doing, which is really cool. And this is it. I see that some settings here are not really set, which are not really that important, but they're fronts. Everything that you need, you can just click it, and it also changes over time, so you can see how the weather develops. But what I also really like are the wind streams. Ooh. So you can see what the winds are doing. And I think also you can look at it on different altitudes. Well, the jet stream and server, so that's not really as fine grained as we like to see it for example, 3,000 feet or 6,000 feet. But still, it shows you something which is quite interesting. Can show you a lot of information here. Of course, thunderstorms and stuff. So you can see we got a bit of a tailwind, at least on the surface. But also, and that's what I really like, if we hit that bottom, well, you guys cannot really see, but it's now set at San Diego, and I'm now looking at the hourly forecast. So I'm hitting that page, and you can see this is all the information. I should also set it at Celsius and that kind of stuff. You can set it also the wind speed and knots, and you can look for airfield, so that's really cool. And also this chart that I really like. So as you can see here, for the next few hours, you can see, for example, that first row there is in green, dew point, feels like temperature, but the second one, here in the blue and in the gray, precipitation and cloud coverage. And you can see here, and you can just move along, I don't know how to do this, oh yeah, here. For every hour, you can see how the weather experts forecast the cloud layer, and this is much more precise. So in a few hours or so, you can see that that cloud ceiling is actually dissipating, which is really cool. So anyways, I recommend this app so you get a better idea of what the weather is doing. It's a free app, at least on iOS. Perhaps also on Android, I do not know. Anyway, doesn't really change the fact. Thanks for the follow, November. Welcome on the stream. And again, jealous. It doesn't change the fact that weather is a significant obstacle for our particular flight. But I'm just excited to see whatever happens, let alone whether we will even pass for the CAT-11. So it's just one big experiment. We're going to enjoy ourselves. But it's important that we talked about this. Back to the charts. Also, something that I noticed but I didn't talk about, you can see there is a upcoming TFR here. It's hard to see, I guess, but there's a yellowish circle here. Also covering San Diego. I can just hit it. And that's because the Mets are playing today. Well, not really today, but they're locally today. For us at Zulu time, it's tomorrow, or after midnight here locally. Or somewhere around, I shouldn't say that, around midnight here locally in the Netherlands. So that's not part of our flight, but that's good to notice as well. The NOTAMs are very important to consider as well, especially here these TFRs, because if this thing is active, we cannot reach San Diego even if the weather is okay and we got a perfect flight arriving route there. And that covers about the entire flight, I think. So I'm excited to see whether this arrival works, and I'm also curious to see whether we can even make it using the weather. If not, I'm just going to be bold and just continue the flight. Also, if the controller is going to say, Tim, it is impossible for you as VFR pilot to descend through, I'm going to say, well, we're going to set our own weather. I'm just going to continue anyways. Because it's CAT-11 time, if the stars are aligned and the gods are with me. Okay, that is the briefing. Evanek, PA doesn't use, that's true. PilotEdge doesn't use the TFRs, but I would. Babago, thanks for the follow, much appreciated. Alrighty, and Osrin, good to see you guys. Welcome. It's a special day for me. The CAT-11 rating completes my PPL training and is actually my final check ride, so we're going to celebrate. Let's now move on towards the flight. So first up, the plate of LAX. We need to taxi around LAX. Obviously, the plates. Here is LAX. Ooh. Now, it's not that difficult. Because, as you can see, Atlantic Aviation is over here. We are parked over there. Let me hit the pen here. Pencil. Yep. We are... I don't want to... Why doesn't it remember that I don't want to have a thickness of 25 pixels? Which is insane. Like 4 is better. Thank you. Here we are. Thanks for the follow, Rick. Thanks. Welcome on the stream. So, that's where we are. There is a small taxiway here, Alpha 6. So I guess when we're going to request our departure, we're going to get Alpha 6, Alpha to 25 left at Foxtrot. And that's going to be our departure with some departure instructions, very likely. So Perhaps we need to stay below. I guess we need to stay below a particular altitude and a particular heading to fly. Not that difficult, right? For a huge airport. But it's so cool with our Cessna 172 here on such a big airport. Okay, that's for the taxi. On top here we can see all the different frequencies. So we got ATIS, obviously departure. We're gonna get a departure frequency by the clearance controller, so I'm gonna ignore that. Los Angeles Tower, and you can see NS, and I guess that means north or south. So we are at the south, I would guess. So we need 120.95 as a tower frequency. The ground controller has a west, a north, and a south. I mean, there are obviously it's such a huge airport, so there are multiple ground controllers with their own frequencies to work all that traffic around. Again, the south one, I guess, 121.75, and clearance delivery 120.35. There's only one, so that's good. Anything else? Well, we got a hotspot over there. So a hotspot means that HS means that that's a area likely where accidents can occur. Here on PilotEdge, usually LAX is not that much flown by pilots, so we don't see any other traffic here. But still, it's interesting to know what's going on here. Thank you, 6-5, for the good luck wishes. November 90, could you fly special VFR where you obtain permission to fly in below VFR conditions while maintaining cloud clearance? Yeah, that's kind of like a contradiction because the special VFR, as I already mentioned, request allows you to bust that VFR rule, right? To not maintain enough cloud clearance for a while. So we could do that here for the departure, but the weather is looking actually pretty well. If you look here, we can easily maneuver through this. Perhaps not on departure, but if that's the case, we are in the Bravo airspace. And I think in the Bravo airspace, the VFR rules are much more lean, or in other ways, we can go much more closer to clouds because we are controlled by a radio controller. They know what kind of traffic there is around us, right? So they can maneuver us. So we're just going to ignore that departure here just for practical sake. But it's just it's interesting to consider what's going on there. For my Gromio, you can do a couple of touch and goes on your way out of LAX. Yeah, I thought about that as well. But I believe a couple of months ago, I heard someone request touch and goes on LAX with Marcus, and as Marcus is, as you all know, he denied that request because that's silly. That will never happen. But I guess a departure or arrival at an LAX airport or San Diego does happen if you got the bucks and the time to wait, because that's also something in the real world. You will be perhaps sitting here for an hour to get clearance, to get sneaked in between, sequenced in between all those big airliners to get away. Also, by the way, also a very nice video, highly recommended about Bravo arrival, is a video by again, Mr. Captain Aviation, or Captain Aviation 101, also a very popular YouTube guy. He has also done a arrival at Chicago International Airport, which is even bigger than LAX, and he needed to phone ahead of time, obviously, and go very early in the morning. Coordinated that, so all the controllers knew that he was coming in with his 172, and he came in very early in the morning, so at night, with his instructor. Very cool video to watch, so that's recommended as well. Avanek, in Bravo is just stay clear of clouds. Roger, thanks Avanek. Free visibility, clear cloud, thanks Single. Okay, so again, frequencies we checked, taxi. Okay, so let's now have a look at San Diego as well, also important. Here is San Diego, and what I really like about San Diego, which is not a big thing, is that they highlight the non-movement area. General aviation parking. Not a big thing, but I noticed by myself, or for myself, in myself, a question or some kind of confusion also on other airports of where is there a non-movement area. Some airports do not have non-movement areas, and so I would just taxi now towards this taxiway here in front of us. Also should put this thing on, by the way. Without knowing that this is actually not a non-movement area, and I should already request Tower to even make such a short taxi here to the taxiway. So I like that on this chart they indicate that with the highlight there. So anyways, we need to park over there. So that means that if we get 27, and that's very likely because the winds are usually coming from the The winds are coming in from the ocean. Again, guys, this is the non-movement area highlighted agenda, and this is where we need to park. General aviation. There's only one general aviation ramp over there. So what we need to do is come in. Why does it? Okay, we're gonna go Charlie. Then we're gonna go to the ramp, and then we go. Well, you get the idea anyway. 27, Charlie 3, and then get to signature, and hopefully we can pop the champagne. We'll have to see. Ozzy, hi team, congrats on the CAT-10, and good luck with the 11. Thank you, that means a lot. Thank you so much. Okay, and again, frequencies here are quite basic. So for a Bravo airport, this is actually quite a small airport. It's got terminals, obviously, but it's not like LAX, so a simple taxi would suffice. Okay, done. That means that we are ready to go. Yikes. Yikes, 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 yikes. Wow. On LAX, guys. We're on LAX with a Cessna 172. November 90, huh? If you look on the VFR sectional to the left of LAX, it says no special VFR. Oh, that's interesting. If you look on the sectional... Well, I cannot really spot it just yet, but I believe you. It even rings a bell that I see. Oh, there it is. Over my extended center lines. Good one, November. Thanks for sharing. No special VFR. Makes sense. Okay. So, let's do this, guys. Fasten our seatbelts, as always. My real seatbelts, because that just... it's just cool, I think. We are here with our door open. Again, ignore that glitching tarmac here. I don't know what that is, but it will go away very, very soon. Those are the clouds. It seems scattered to me, so I'm hoping that we remain clear of those. And what we could do with our departure, and also say to so-called departure that we've got some clouds and like to maneuver a bit, and if that's okay. Chad, thank you! So we could do that perhaps already with clearance if they're going to give us a departure. No, departure heading would be fine, I guess. But as soon as we are handed over to departure after our takeoff, and they say fly particular heading down south, we could say, are we able to just maneuver a bit to stay clear of clouds? And if not, I'm just going to continue because I like to do that. Okay, so here we are. Door closed. Boom. Cold and dark check. Parking brakes are set. Live vests are there. Fire extinguishers in the green. Let's pretend that it's all there. Doors closed. ELT is set to auto. That stuff we're going to ignore. Flap lever is up and my flaps are actually up. That's good. My mixture is working. My throttle is working. My trim is working. Fuel tank set to both. Cutoff is in. Alternate is in. That stuff we're going to set soon. Circuit breakers nicely tucked in. Also on this side. My switch panel is working and only the beacon switch is flipped on. And that's good for me. Batteries on. We've got enough. Fuel. How much fuel are we actually... I mean, I should actually include this in my flight as well, but I'd like to spend my time just on the relevant stuff. And it is relevant, but yeah, it gets a little bit boring. 14 gallons of fuel we need for this particular flight, including taxi and that stuff. So that's very nice that ForeFlight is calculating that for us. Still, on a daytime flight, we need to have a minimum of 30-minute fuel reserve. And that means that we need just a few gallons more. And as you can see here on our fuel gauge, that means that we still got plenty. So we're totally fine. Also, interesting story. Very recently, I believe that some airliners or airline companies give penalties to pilots, or the airports give penalties to the airliners if they land an airplane that doesn't have the 30-minute fuel reserve on board when they hit the gate. And so there was this funny, very funny news story where a 737, when it was flying towards Las Vegas, did a stop just a 20 nautical miles before Las Vegas to refuel because it already passed that reserve. And so it refueled to avoid that penalty and then made a lap again to Las Vegas with a delayed flight of about an hour or so. Interesting, I thought. For Mike Romeo, most Bravos have the no special VFR notation. Oh, cool. Special VFR is forbidden. All right. Let's continue anyway. So batteries are on, enough fuel, good. Avionics on, those are all nicely working, that's good. Flaps down, let's check, otherwise we would do a walk around as well. I'm not going to because it's not possible in the stock 172. Go down and go down in sync, good. We're going to set that very, very soon, but it seems to be working. That's the most important thing here. Annunciator messages work, is in sync, good. My heading indicator and my compass, and that stuff is good as well. Alrighty, avionics off. Also check my controls. So that one is working. To the left, that one goes down. Elevators work. My trim is working too, I see. And my rudder pedals are working as well. Awesome. Then, fuel pump on. Mixture in. 1, 2, 3-ish. Off. Throttle a bit in. Parking brake just set, fuel tank set to both. No one is walking around here in the propeller area. So guys, here we go. CAT-11. Clear up. Mixture in. Magnetos. Back to both. 1200. Oil pressure is already within the green. Within 30 seconds, we'll lean for ground. See a dip in the RPM, but we won't here with the stock. Reset at 1000. Generator on. We see a rise in the M meter. Avionics on. Good. Mode C, and we are VFR. We need to set some frequencies because we're not there yet, guys. Not there yet. So first off, I'm going to use LAX. I guess we're going to get a heading right for a departure here, but then I'm going to catch that radial outbound towards Oceanside VOR. Perhaps we can already pick up Oceanside, but I don't know for sure, so that's why I'm going to set LAX as well. Redundancy is a good thing. LAX is 113.6. Nav1, 113.6. That's set. What I'm going to do is set that to the Nav2, because I only get one DME reading for only the Nav1. I like to have a DME reading for Oceanside once we get that signal going, rather than of LAX. 113.6. So I'm going to set 113.6 LAX to the Nav2. That's now set. And what kind of radial, outbound radial, are we going to pick up on? No, not the Victor Airway. This one is, where's LAX? Over there. And it's kind of like, I want to be a bit more precise. Doesn't really matter that much, but still. That would be 117. Thanks for the follow, Brazil. Thanks. Welcome on board. 117. So, 117. 117, he said. Am I saying that right? This is 90, 100. Yeah. Okay, good. 117-ish. Okay. No, that's not good. That's the Nav1. 117. Okay, 117. Then for the Nav1, we are going to set the Oceanside VOR. And that is 115.3. So Nav1, 115.3. 115.3 set. we have already a signal here. So that Nav2 set was a little bit not needed. 64 nautical miles makes sense. We could also identify that VOR. Does anyone know how to do that? Hey Ethan, good to see you on the stream. How to get that sound going? Is it just hitting this Nav1 button? Hey Jod. Oh, that Jod I already. I thought you were new, but I already greeted you. Well, welcome anyway. Nav1. Does that work like this? To pull out something? I don't know anymore how to do that. Yes, you hit the Nav1. I don't hear it. Perhaps we've got a volume. Is this a volume? Don't like to... Yes, I hear it. I hear it very, very faintly on the background, but it's hard to hear. I'd like to hear it. Sorry, guys. Whoop, sounds. I should be able to hear it, I guess. Aircraft interior? Or is it user interface? Well, that should be okay. Yeah, there it is. So again, but I guess I'm also going to hear the battery zooming, which I don't think is a good... Better. Okay, that's the Morse code. And you guys can hear? Thanks for the follow, Tlerock. Thanks. Welcome on the stream. So that's Oceanside. So here is the Morse code. Oh, here's the Morse code. Let's have a listen. So a long one. That's what's correct. Identified. I don't know if you guys could hear, but yeah, I can hear the Morse code. Good for Mike. Thanks for the confirmation. Alrighty, we got that VOR confirmed. That should also be part of every VOR thing that you do. We set that VOR. We didn't set the radial just yet. Should be kind of like the same, but it is the same, obviously. Doesn't really matter what radio we're going to fly, by the way. 117 is exactly the same, obviously. Thanks for the follow, young boy. Thanks. 117, 117, it's the same thing. Only this is a from reading and that's a to reading, but we're going to fly that thing anyway. Okay, good. That are the navs. Nothing else that we need. Well, let's pick Mission Bay as well. And if we are already have a reading of Oceanside, I'm going to set my Mission Bay on the nav 2. So I still keep that LAX thing in the standby. 117.8. 117.8. Switch. It's set. And we still got a 2 reading. That's interesting. Okay, awesome. So, and what radio are we going to expect here? Or what do we like to fly? Well, it's going to be this one. 156. 1, 5, 6. Good. Perfect. Now we're ready. And as soon as we're over Palomar there, yeah, I'm going to start my descent to 3,500 if the weather allows. Okay, so that means that our navs are set. Now we need frequencies. Close. There we are. Frequencies, what do we need? Well, we need clearance delivery, 120.35. And we need ground, and that will be the south.
Holding back departure via Julian.
That is perhaps because I turned this one. That's
23. 7
no,
Charlie.
it doesn't.
7 Charlie Bravo, read back.
Oh, this is loud. What did I set, guys? Did I change something? I could put this to the same. Man, that was loud. Oh, that was this one, I guess. If I put this all to the left, then perhaps this one is to the left as well. Yeah, it's radios. Okay, where was it? To the middle. Let's listen. I don't like to damage my ears here, and also not yours. Otherwise, I could also change it here. It's fun that you can change it also here with this knob. Anyways, 120.35, that's clearance, and south is 121.75. 121.75, that's ground. Double check. No, it's cloud 12035. Yep, correct. Let's get this party on the road. Okay, so we're at the general aviation ramp. We don't have ATIS. Totally forgot about that. Sorry, guys. ATIS was 133.8. Because we need to let the controller know that we got the weather, that we understand the weather. 133.8. Switch. And what we also need is the ATIS of San Diego. We don't need the ATIS of all the airports in between because we're going to fly on flight following, and those guys are going to give us altimeters so everyone flies on the same altitude. So never reset your altimeter while on flight following, but for the arrival part we need to San Diego 134.8. Now we're ready. Okay, com off, com 1 on. And I don't hear any weather here on. The radio. It's a bit weird that I don't hear anyone on the radio after that. Radio is now on. Yeah. Should be okay. Nothing is off. This was all set, untouched. I'd like to hear more weather information. Well, we got the METARs here on ForeFlight, but okay, LX search. It is 135.65 over 113.8. So, well, let's try the other one. 135.65.
Los Angeles INTL information Foxtrot. 2100 Zulu weather. Wind light and variable. Visibility more than 10. Sky clear. Temperature 20. Dew point -19. Altimeter 3000. Arriving runways 25 right, 24 left, 25 left, 24 right. Departing runways 25 right, 24
Foxtrots.
left, 25 left, 24 right. Advise on initial contact.
You have
Foxtrot.
Foxtrot. Good. Okay. So we got Foxtrot, and we are on clearance delivery. And Dave, 135.xx, whatever it was for departure ATIS. Ah, right. Thanks. Thanks.
Los Angeles INTL
Yeah,
information
I get the
Foxtrot.
idea. Switch also my COM2 now to the ATIS of San Diego. All right. All right. Yeah, there was a D in front of it. I noticed on the airport diagram. Okay, didn't know about that. Awesome. Set the heading log to 25. And again, our COM1 is on. General aviation ramp with Foxtrot requesting flight following to San Diego at 5,500, and this will be for the CAT-11 rating, that's what we're going to say. Los Angeles clearance, good day. Skyhawk Papa Hotel Tango India Mike with a VFR request. First a cold call. If the thing still works, the radio.
PHJM Los Angeles clearance, go ahead.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike is a Cessna Skyhawk Slant Alpha. We're currently at the GA ramp with information Foxtrot. Like to have flight following to San Diego at 5,500 for the CAT-11 today.
PHJM, departure. Fly heading 255. Maintain VFR at or below 3,000. Departure frequency 125.2. Squawk 3054.
After departure, heading 255, we'll stay at or below 3,000. Departure frequency is 125.2 and 3054 in the box for Papa Hotel Tango Mike.
PHJM, read correct.
3054. Good. So, as I expected, a heading, which is usual also for Charlie, 255. That's actually kind of like runway heading. 255, we need to stay at or below 3,000 feet. So, considering the clouds, we could, while we're taking off, pick 1,000 feet. I don't care, as long as we are below 3,000 feet. And as if the controller is going to say anything about that, we're going to say cloud avoidance and just see what happens. Okay, so that was clearance. Switch to ground. Again, double check. 121.7 was it? 121.72. I have it set. That doesn't seem correct to me. Plates. Ground would be 121.75. Ah. There it is. 121.75. Good. And then we can already set the tower, and that would be also for the south 120.95. 120.95. Double check. Where am I looking? 120.95. Good. All right. So now we're ready to taxi. Again, we've got Foxtrot. We just pretend that we've got another controller there, or another ground controller, different from clearance. Los Angeles ground, Skyhawk Papa Hotel Tango India Mike GA ramp with information Foxtrot ready to taxi.
PHTIM, Los Angeles current runway 25 left, taxi via Alpha Foxtrot.
Runway 25 left via Alpha, Foxtrot, Papa Delta Mike. Alright, double check that again. So, remove all of this. Again, we've got... That's a bug. No. Zoom in. We are there. Alpha, all the way down, and then Foxtrot, and then we depart. Good. Guys, first taxi on a Bravo airport. Set, parking brakes, released, brake test works. There we go. Again, fence is over there. I can see a exit over there. Well, those could use a paint job. Those jets seems a bit like a bug to me, or something like a texture that I don't have. We're taxiing on LAX. This is weird. What cool. All right. On the taxi diagram, Alpha 6 on 2 Alpha. That's awesome. So as you can see, there is no non-movement area line over here. So I guess I was not allowed to taxi to this weird-looking zebra-like line, and then ask for my clearance to taxi. We're on Alpha. There we go. Slip indicator, turn indicator works, heading indicator worked. Still in line with our compass. And everything is stable, engine is still good, except for our oil temperature, which is insane as always with the stock 172. Hence, my request for a SimCoders reality expansion pack for the stock 172. Thank you, Voju. Yeah, there was a really wide taxiways. This is the cargo ramp.
Lindbergh ground, citation 127 Charlie Bravo at the commuter ramp.
Got a heading back to the bottom, that's correct. And we're currently at Gulf. Well, mystery, I don't know.
Citation 127 Charlie Bravo, Lindbergh
The
ground,
airflow labs
27,
is still a
taxi
bit
via
buggy.
Charlie.
Runway 27, taxi via Charlie, 7 Charlie Bravo.
Also, I poked the guys, SimCoders, and they didn't reply with a definitive answer whether they did it or not. They said, well, just wait and see. So, I'm still a bit hoping.
Lindbergh ground, 7 Charlie Bravo, correction, taxi via Bravo.
Alpha Foxtrot is this. To continue. We
Citation
are on
7 Charlie
Alpha.
Bravo, say again, parking.
Commuter ramp.
I'm gonna go
south
all the way.
Side.
Citation 7 Charlie Bravo, I'm sorry, I thought you said GA ramp. Runway 27 taxi via Bravo.
27 taxi via Bravo.
Again,
Thank you, 7 Charlie Bravo.
weather is kind of like okay. So that's something like a mental note. So as I'm departing here, following 255 on the heading, which is just a straight out, and I guess very, very soon we're going to receive another heading. I'm gonna say to, or request to the controller to perhaps get me another heading or give me some room for me to avoid those clouds. Even though we can already remain clear of clouds and not that 3512 rule, it's still something good to mention, because we need to remain clear of clouds also in Bravo. Alright, still on Alpha. There's the windsock, nice headwind. And there is Foxtrot, as you can see on the taxi sign. This line here to the left is an ILS stop hold line. So when we've got low IMC, or IMC I think then you should stop at this point, because you might obstruct something that has to do with the ILS, but I'm not sure about that. Okay. Now this is okay-ish. Still wind is now blowing into our vents. Okay. Mixture full in. Engine is warm enough to do our run-up. 1800s. No unshaded messages. Everything seems stable. Good. Left mag looks good. Enough drop. Back to both. My right mag looks good. Good enough drop. Back to both. Landing lights on. Do we still see a charge? Kind of. Back to idle. Still like to see oil pressure. There it is. The engine doesn't quit on us. Everything is stable. No unshaded messages. Good. Back to 1000. Let's check again for one last time, because there's no such thing as an emergency takeoff. Trim, everything is working. Okay, good. There we are. So, landing lights on, strobe lights on, transponder, everything is set. We are ready to go. So what are we going to do? Brief one more time. Again, 255 on the heading. And we stay below 3,000 feet. So let's get to 2,000 if the weather allows. If not, we're going to say if we're going to avoid some clouds. Otherwise, I'm just going to ignore that, guys, and just go non-VFR, even though we should. But that's just the boldness, I guess, of just doing the CAT-11 rating with real-world weather. I don't like to have clear clouds for that matter. Rather have some clouds and some real-world weather conditions than removing all of this stuff. And 125.2 on the departure. Let's set that as well. First to tower. That was indeed 120.95, wasn't it? Yep, that it was. And then 125.2. 125.2. So we can make a swift switch. Yeah, you're right, guys. Avanek and Mystery, that's true. That is true. Okay. I think we're ready to go to embark on this epic journey across the LA Ocean towards San Diego. Okay. Tower, yep, ready. And we are at Foxtrot 25 left. Los Angeles Tower, Skyhawk Papa Hotel, Tango Mike is only short 25 left at Foxtrot, ready for departure.
PHM Los Angeles Tower, runway 25 left, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 25 left, Papa Hotel, Tango Mike. There we go. This is so weird. This is so weird. Huge runway. Again, double check, no one is on final. No huge 747. No huge 747 is on the runway. Mixture full in, lights are on, trim is set, I think. Yeah, it is. Field tech set to both. Thank you for the follow, William. Here we go. Full power. Engine is still in the green. Airspeed is alive. What a huge runway. And 60 rotates. And there we go. Enjoy this, guys. Clip this for me, please. As a memory. LAX. So cool. And there's the GA ramp where we departed, or where we started from. Awesome. Okay, so let's trim a bit. Trim for VY, so we can go a little bit more high up. 255 on the heading. And aim for 2,000 feet. Good. Clouds are looking okay-ish. Perhaps we should stick to 1500. That's perhaps a bit safer. Wow, this is cool. Also scary. Alright, 1500 feet is coming up. There we go. Level down. Allow the airspeed to increase.
EHJ on radar, contact, so got departure, see it.
Over to departure, pop it out, Mike. Switch. Let's set first. Circle departure, Sky Pop it out, Tango Mike is level 1500.
DHM, scout departure, fly heading 160.
160 for Papa Delta Tango Mike. Interesting. Like I expected. 160. Okay. Again, cloud-wise, we're fine. We still have that altitude restriction. Pushing on that yoke a bit, so nose down trim. Let's lean. Landing lights.
There's
well,
127 to Bravo,
keep them on.
127, click takeoff, wind 360.
160. Here it is. Okay, so again, this confirms what I was planning, right? 160. Thanks for the follow. Ciao. Thanks. We're now heading towards that pier on the other side. And Mulder. Thanks. Welcome on the stream. Goodbye, LAX. So as you can see, the departure so far is very, very similar to a departure from a Charlie. Our AGT is not that nicely high up. Should enrich my rickshaw just a tiny bit there. Yeah, I leaned it a bit too much. Okay. 160. So the next thing is we're gonna fly here. Underfly that Bravo now. There's a lot of... We're now in the Bravo from surface to 10,000, but that Bravo stops around there in the distance, I think. And then we're going to go to the left around this pier and going to catch that radial while we're climbing.
Contact local approach 134.9er.
134.9er, Papa Delta Mike. 134.9er. Switch. Circle approach, Sky Papa Delta Tango Mike is level 1600. Thanks for the follow, Crunch.
Okay, departure. Leaving Bravo airspace 3 miles, cancel altitude restriction, resume on navigation.
Cancel altitude restriction and we'll resume our own nav, Papa Delta Mike. Alright. Now, I guess that means that we can already do, yeah, resume on nav, that was the instruction. I was kind of like thinking, should I wait before we are out of the Bravo to do that? But he said, clear and resume. We'll keep our beacon code, obviously, because we're on flight following. A bit more power there. So I'm just going to continue here. And have a look at the map. Still, do we know what we're doing? Yeah, we're flying to this point, around the pier. Should remain a little bit more to the right, because we got this delta of Torrents, good old Torrents of the CAT-10. Like to be sure that we're clear of that, even though we're on flight following, by the way. They should coordinate that transition or give us a heads up of that transition. But still, trying to be as friendly as I can. Poor Mike, yes, you're 3. Thank you for the information there. Yeah, that's true, Voju. It's kind of like a vector already, yeah. So, some clouds here. Well, we're free to do whatever, so let's apply some cloud avoidance tactics. Still, I'm going to continue that turn. The main thing is that we need to stay west a bit, so we're clear of that delta. But that delta is to 2,400, and in about 100 feet or so, we're already above that delta. So then we're already fine. Now we can turn off our landing lights. I guess we're still in Bravo a bit, but... And again, it's not that the radar controllers know every...
PHTAM, you were exiting the Bravo airspace, now it looks like you turned so that you're back towards into it. Fly heading 130.
130, Papa Delta Mike. That was weird. I was not free. But that's weird, guys. I thought I was free. He said resume on nav, so I did. But I guess he meant to say after you transition to Bravo, resume on nav. But that's a bit confusing. And I guess that also means that my altitude restriction then still applies. So let's stick to 2,500. Alright, that's the first.
PHTIM, Bravo airspace now. Resume on navigation.
Roger that. Now we resume on nav. For Delta Mike, thanks for the help. Okay, I thought that was confusing, don't you think, guys?
347 Charlie Delta SoCal approach, Palomar altimeter 3000. At PHTM, you didn't do anything wrong there because you never exited and then re-entered. But just for future reference, when the controller tells you that you're leaving Bravo airspace, it's expected that you are to exit the Bravo airspace.
Got you there. Yeah, we were thinking about that as well. It now makes sense. Thanks for the advice. Papa Delta Mike.
Yeah, we have to tell you leaving Bravo airspace when we're expecting you to depart it, and then give you whatever instructions there.
Yeah, Roger. I didn't know that that instruction to resume on nav was after the Bravo, so I thought that was already a free-for-all, but now I get it. Thanks.
Yeah, PHJ, you can resume your own navigation before you exit the Bravo airspace, but you're supposed to continue exiting in that direction. You're expected to continue going to wherever border you're going towards.
Ah, Roger that. Thanks again. Papa doesn't work. Cool. Okay, but now we're free. Now we're free. So apparently, yeah, and that, I think, guys, that this thing also applies to our CAT-10 rating stuff. Not the one that I failed, but the one that I passed. Because let's also continue our climb here. So double check here. Wait a minute, guys. So Bravo airspace. Around that corner. We're not there yet. So I'm going to fly a little bit to the right here. So we are here. That's at 5,000. No, we cannot do that. And this one is at 8,000. Yeah, so I should be able to stay at this altitude and then find a way to go to the left. We also go here around, but I think that's too close to the delta of Torrance, so that's not what I'm going to do. Because we can sit Bravo on top of us. So I'd like to go to this sector, so then we can go to 5,500. But there are clouds here. So let's see if we can sneak beyond here. Yeah, Scandinavian, that was the issue. So I thought that I was already outside of the Bravo, and Marcus already replied. I put that comment about the CAT-10, that comment of Marcus on the PilotEdge forums, and Marcus already replied saying that indeed I was already outside of the Bravo and he didn't know. So that was a bit of a mistake on his part, but again, he said that I should always wait for the controller to say on a coastal route, on a Bravo transition, at the end, resume au nav. Also clear of the Bravo, but also resume au nav. And I didn't hear him say that. I thought I completed the coastal transition, plus I was outside of the Bravo, so I thought, let's just on my own accord continue my plan to John Wayne. And that was not a good try, even though I was free to do it. It's better to ask, to query the controller and say, hey, this is what I like to do, am I free now? Or wait for that handoff. That was kind of like the idea. So we're kind of like flying, avoiding some clouds here, although you could state whether I'm actually clear enough of the clouds, but also visibility now worsens. That's marginal VMC for you. All right, let's make this turn to the left. Still, I'm going to stick to 3,500 to remain on that eastern heading, or VFR altitude, I mean. All right, now I'm going to stick to 3,500. There's the Vincent Thomas Bridge. You can see there right on the map, yeah. So if we continue this, then very, very soon we hit this sector from 8,000 to 10,000, then we can resume our climb. As you can see, weather can also add on the challenge and the stress. Vojo, you will get there. Skill comes with experience and with making mistakes, and so mistakes is not failure, it's just a demonstration of the fact that you're learning. But again, that was confusing for my CAT-10 rating. I was confused by that comment by Marcus, like say, hey, you're now leaving, please stick to the coastal route. While I was actually still clear of the Bravo.
CIM contact SoCal approach. 128.1, see ya.
128.1, thanks for the help, Pop Delta Rank. 128.1. Twitch. Circle approach, Chicago Hotel Tango Mike is level 3500. Like to get an altimeter.
Sky PHTAM, Circle approach, terminal altimeter 3000.
3000, Papa Hotel Tango Mike. 300. 0. Good. Alright, so still at 3500. Kind of like remain clear of clouds here. We got some overcast on top, but we are fine. We are fine. So again, looking at the map, we are now in this sector. Clearly, we're also clear of that sector, 5,000 to 10,000.
707 Yankee Hotel Tower clearance, go ahead.
So this means that we can start our climb. So let's do that right away. Because that's also recommended by the VFR flyway, right? Also, if we've got a little bit more altitude on our hands, in case of an engine out, we've got gliding distance.
Sky 707 Yankee
Zia,
Hotel.
Thanks for the follow. Welcome.
Driving clearance, clear to Torrance.
Oh my CAT-11 rating.
On departure.
Final check ride, guys. My final check ride.
Radar vectors, Seal Beach. Direct.
Alright.
Maintain 2000.
So,
Departure
we are
frequency
clear now
13.1.
to climb.
Squawk 3550.
I think that is the Vincent Thomas bridge. Not that exciting. Still, it is a bridge. And we are now trying to catch this radial inbound to Oceanside. And then we've got a long way to go at 5,500. See a cloud puff in front of me here. So I'm going to sneak in between. And also, that's what
no problem on departure.
I like about flying VFR is that opposed to IFR, we can creatively play a bit, right? We should play because the controllers are not saying exactly what heading or altitude we need to fly. That's also what makes VFR a bit more challenging. But it also makes it a bit more fun. It's more dynamic. It's more...
departure headings
I think it's nice.
220, rest of you back correct.
For Mike Romeo. Vincent Thomas Bridge, your best friend. Alright, now sticking a bit to the right now. That might pose a problem for us. That cloud. So what we could do, and also here on top of us by the way. So we cannot stick to 4,000 here. Because that's not a proper VFR altitude. So I just continue my climb and ignore this stuff. But perhaps, and it's also quite hard to do with xEnviro because the weather changes continuously. It's not fixed clouds like with the default weather system with X-Plane 11. So it's hard to anticipate where the clouds are, and so it's hard to plan for cloud avoidance. Anyways, I would then kept my altitude at 3,500 so I could continue to maneuver and avoid all of this junk here. So I could fly here and then go up and stay more on the west side of John Wayne. You could also fly this way, but again, with an engine out, I don't like this distance here to land. So some aeronautical decision making here on my part, so that's why I'm going to go for the west part. You can see the overcast, broken stuff over there. As planned, we like to overfly that. Still keep that climb going to avoid any chance that the controller might see that we don't know about VFR altitudes. Engine is still looking good. What's the temperature doing? Because we've got clearly moisture in the area. Oh, we cannot see Celsius here. I believe we're still in the plus degrees there. We're not in freezing levels. Because moisture with freezing means icing or risk of icing. Oh, we didn't brief our weather charts, by the way, guys. I mean, we did talk about weather, but we didn't look at those wonderful charts. Well, I did before the stream, but I didn't stream it, so it's a bit of a bummer. So, this is good news. We are now flying above the soup as a VFR pilot, which is okay. Not for a student pilot. For a student pilot, you need to have visual reference with the ground. Well, almost PPL pilot. We may, but it's never recommended because you need to be very, very sure that this overcast or broken layer is not at your around your destination airport, because we still need to be able to descend. So we could get ourselves stuck here, even though we are VFR and totally legal right now. If this weather continues, persists all the way along to all the way to San Diego, we are in trouble. And we need to fly out to some other area where we can underfly all of this this cloud ceiling. So again, radial is already creeping in, but I see some cloud over there. Because we got a good sense of where we are, and we got backup SVOR, and we are on flight following also. So the Charlie is coming up of the John Wayne, but we are on flight following, so we can easily fly through it. Still, I like to fly at 5,500. The ceiling of Charlie of John Wayne goes up to 5,400. So at 5,500, even though it's very, very close, we are clear of that Charlie as well. So we know that no departing and arriving aircraft are annoyed by us. But what I like to say is I can easily fly a little bit to the right off of the radial just to remain clear of those clouds. So here we are, 5,500. Nose down. Again, we are much more high up, so you can see the EGT is already can be already a bit improved, and therefore also we can be a bit more conservative on fuel. Top EGT. Nose down, trim a bit.
Skyhawk 707 Yankee Hotel, John Wayne ground, runway 20 left.
And
Kilo,
there we go.
taxi Alpha Kilo.
That's true for Mike. That's true. Hoping that the Sokol approachers also give me a heads up on any traffic, so give me some traffic alerts, but we'll have to see. 43 nautical miles to go above the soup. Well, this is fun. This is much fun. Alright, as you guys taught me, if you feel comfortable, think about something that you can do. Like thinking ahead. So, we are currently flying our leg to Oceanside. We know that that John Wayne is near, but we're overflying that airspace, so we're fine. We don't need to listen to ATIS because why should we? Well, we could just to entertain ourselves, but we know what the weather is doing here. Even though we could still do that because weather develops, obviously. It's not that when you do your pre-flight you get a static idea what the weather is doing. The weather is always developing. So it actually is recommended to do that. So let's do it. Listen to ATIS of John Wayne here to get an idea what the weather is doing here. Eventually we need to check in with the ATIS of San Diego, where we still got some way to go. And still that's about it. We need to keep check with our engine. Icing, perhaps. Well, I think we are fine. Also, we can go a bit slower here on the RPM. Some more casual flow going. Also, we're 200 feet above our cruising altitude, which is not really nice. It's okay-ish, but not good. 40 nautical miles to go. Obviously, we got a GPS here that can help us, but I'm not using that one. And everything seems to be fine. Much more casual flight than the CAT-10, I can tell you. Okay, so let's listen to the ATIS of John Wayne. It is 126.0. Also, we can expect some turbulence and perhaps some updrafts from this cloud to the left, so keep a regular eye on our cruising altitude here. Sniper, so with all this cloud, how helpful do we think the clock would be? Yeah, that could indeed be something that I should have done. Even though it's again a redundancy on a redundancy, but you're totally right. So perhaps we should do that first. The clock deserves it. Select elapsed time.
419 Delta Papa, Sokol approach, squawk.
We are
523
nautical miles from Oceanside. So that would be that we are kind of like
that squawk code
here.
was only for November 419er Delta
So
Papa. Other aircraft calling say call
that
sign
means
request.
23 minutes on the clock before we reach Oceanside. So let's do that. It is running. 23 minutes. That's what we're looking for. Thanks, Sniper.
107 Kilo Charlie, Roger, squawk 3572, ident.
Alright, at the same time though, well, we're kind of okay. I'd like to get on my track
For full
anyway.
19 Delta Papa, your radar contact 3 miles northeast of Silver Beach VOR, John
5,500,
3001.
still good.
Turn right,
I see
heading
a window here that we can
050,
fly,
look for the
hopefully
LDA runway
in
20 right
between.
approach.
Okay, there we go. That's a nice. How does one call
maintain 3000?
that cloud? Oh, there it is. Much better. Weird looking cloud
For
there.
107 Kilo Charlie, your radar contact 10 miles south of Silver Beach VOR, John
Double check gyro drift. Looking good.
Turn 10 degrees right.
We are inbound to that radial. That's good as well. And we got a room here to fly. That's good. 8 this time. It was 126.0.
Kilo Charlie, destined to maintain 3000.
126.0. Also like to double check the ATIS of San Diego because I did switch
Skyhawk 707
some
Yankee
stuff.
Hotel, John Wayne Tower, when calm, runway 20 left to Kilo clear for takeoff.
San Diego, hit search. That was 134.8. Yeah, that's currently set. Now the active is John Wayne. Let's have a listen.
Orange County, John Wayne Information Golf.
Sky 9 Delta
Golf.
Papa continues the turn heading 060.
Wind light and variable.
Light and variable.
Visibility more than 10. Sky clear.
Sky clear. Uh-huh.
Dew point -18. Altimeter 3000.
And the altimeter we're going to ignore. Okay. Sky's clear. Hey. Oh yeah, there it is. Luckily. Sky's clear. Uh-huh. As you can see, xEnviro lives its own life. Alright, needle is coming in. 33 nautical miles to go. What a nice flight. My last flight, or not last flight, obviously. CAT-11, guys, the CAT-11. This is my final check ride for my VFR training. 92 episodes. Man, I have put some time into this. Talking about that, let me show you how much time. Thanks for the follow, Nicholas. My logbook. 157 hours of flying on PilotEdge. So let's keep that turn going. And also here you can see beautiful scenery here.
Skyhawk
There is
780 Hotel contact circuit departure.
John Wayne.
Skyhawk 7 Kilo Charlie, turn left
go a
heading
little bit more up.
330, join the runway 30 localizer.
Hopefully not your last. No, Voju, I totally agree. So 76 hours day, 20 hours nights.
1,500 for 2,000.
I've been flying 1 hour and 50 minutes as second in
Skyhawk 7 Kilo
command.
Charlie, confirm the heading 330.
Here you can see my
Skyhawk 7
flying
Kilo
activity.
Charlie, 4 miles from Becca, maintain 3,000 till established, correction, maintain 2,000 till established.
No, Snapper,
2,000,
I'm using a
runway
different app,
30
and it's
approach.
called Pilot Logbook. You could also use ForeFlight, by the way.
Skyhawk 707
Pilot
Yankee
Pro.
Hotel, SoCal departure, radar
Pilot
contact.
Pro. It's really nice. You get syncs to Dropbox, and I like the statistics. I also considered using ForeFlight after I purchased this app, but I like this one better. Logbook is here. You can see all the flights per flight. You can set all kinds of stuff. Also my own signature, which is cool. Also some remarks there, which is cool. Aircraft you can put in. Also achievements, so all my CAT ratings and dates of when I passed for my CAT ratings. It's not necessary. It's just fun. It's just fun. Flight Gearx, welcome on the stream. Are you a doctor now? No, not yet. Just a year to go to finish my PhD. Still a lot to write about. but I'm excited to do so.
Skyhawk 7 Kilo Charlie, contact Long Beach Tower, 119.4.
So yeah, I
Skyhawk
recommend
7
this
Hotel, advise you have
this app.
correction, advise
It's
upgrade
nice.
request.
78 Hotel, I'd like to request the OS runway 29 right.
Let's listen to San Diego. ATIS. You can also remove this stuff.
Skyhawk 707 Yankee Hotel, fly heading 290, vector ILS runway 29 right approach.
1, 2,
Heading 290 vectors for
134.8. That's correct.
707 Yankee Hotel.
134.8, I believe. 134.8. Yes. So that means that we're still far away.
Skyhawk 323
So let's keep the
Whiskey
COM2
Tango,
on.
Circle approach, squawk 3502 IDEM.
So we'll get the ATIS as soon as we are in reach.
For
Again,
197 Kilo Charlie, Long Beach Tower.
once we
wind
near Oceanside or Palomar, we're going to
290,
start our
3130
descent to
Palomar.
3,500. And also I'd like to hear what the approach controller likes us to do. Also set our heading bug already to runway 27 as expected. Thanks for the follow, Graft.
Altimeter 3001, say approach
Whoa.
request. Correction, say request.
Whoa! I would like to have a traffic alert for that. That's
Skyhawk
close.
323
Clip
Whiskey
that one.
Tango, turn right, heading 020, vector ILS runway 30 approach. Maintain 4000.
And again, that's also why on flight following you should never get lazy also to look outside, because still as pilots we are responsible. But I would have expected to get a traffic alert here. Anyways, 25 nautical miles to go. So
PHTAM traffic off your 10 o'clock, 4 miles. Same direction, converging altitude indicates 4,900 type now.
looking for the traffic, Robert Delta Mike, thanks. I don't think it's that the
Skyhawk
same
323
traffic.
Whiskey Tango, radar contact lost.
Oh, it was the same. Yeah, it was the same direction. I thought it was coming towards us. Better traffic inside, Papa Delta Mike. Yeah, bit late. Bit late there. Yeah, Sniper, that's true. Thank you for noticing and remembering. I did chat with Marcus just before I went live here.
Skyhawk 9 Delta Papa, fly heading 110.
But he's now governing the West US side of things. But I really appreciated his additional acknowledgements for my CAT-10 when I finished, saying I did a really good job there.
Skyhawk
I mean,
9 Delta Papa.
he's a great controller,
You're
also a nice
mile
guy.
and a half from Effie. Fly heading 160.
But I also appreciate his rigor on the network, and so when he says something like that, that means really something. I think. I'm hoping that that means something. All right, bit of my needle there. Now, what we should think about is weather, because I'm already prepping in my mind to descend.
Skyhawk 7 Yankee Hotel.
Thanks for the follow,
turn
Hemku.
left 10 degrees.
Thanks.
Join the runway 29 right localizer.
And something I cannot pronounce. Thank you for following. Welcome on board. You can see this might perhaps all be broken layers. And if that's the case, we cannot go through that as VFR pilots. So one way to go about this is to fly out over the waters, go down underneath that cloud layer, and then continue our arrival. In that case, I would let the approach controller know, because we then significantly deviate from our plan, from our intentions. And I'm just going to say, approach controller, this is what we like to do. If that's too much trouble because we see that the weather is too bad, I'm either gonna continue flying if it's such a small cloud layer, thin cloud layer, or I'm going to disable xEnviro and just continue the flight, which I think is a bit of a bummer. But so as you can see, here is a thick cloud. This is the thin cloud. So again, I do not pick up the ATIS of San Diego. Still, I've got the COM2 active. Oceanside is over there.
Okay, forward 9 Delta Papa, circle approach.
You could use the power of ForeFlight, obviously, to see what's going on. METAR. 10 setting mode overcast at 1500. Well, that's too low for us to fly underneath. So still looking at the weather.
Local approach 7, Yankee Hotel has Charlie at Denver.
Sky 70 Hotel, thanks for Charlie. And
Good.
you are 4.5 miles from drifting.
Sky clear?
2000 to establish localizer cleared ILS.
Well.
Runway 29 right approach.
Altimeter 3000.
Maintain 2000 till established, cleared ILS 29 right approach.
Good.
707 Yankee Hotel.
Advise on initial contact. You have golf.
Golf. We have golf. Clear skies. Well, we've seen how accurate the ATIS is in comparison to John Wayne weather, where we just crossed. I can see that that broken layer is already stopping over there, and that seems to be around ocean side. So let's just continue a bit, because we can overfly this. Seems good to me. We can descend in between this cloud layer. You could also announce that to the approach controller. So again, not just because we have to, because we are free to do whatever at a VFR
323 Whiskey Tango,
flight.
Long Beach Tower, go ahead.
But I'd like to know that I like to have that SoCal approach control on the same page as what I'm doing, so I can get a heads up. Like,
Whiskey Tango, negative 1,
well,
2,
Papa Hotel Tango Mike, if you're
8.1.
preparing for to go to San Diego, I do not like you to go to 3,500. Just stick to 5,500, for example. Igor, thanks for the follow.
323 Whiskey
Filling that
Tango,
jar, guys. Thanks.
Actually, you are correct. That is a secondary frequency. 125.35 will work as well.
So in any ways, I'd like to stimulate almost, or guide, or take with me the approach controller, so that I'm always in tune of what they expect and what I expect, so I have a pleasant and safe flight.
323 Whiskey Tango, over.
So if I make a serious, significant deviation from my flight path, for example, I would announce.
Radar vectors to
What a nice flight.
30 at Long Beach.
CAT-11 rating, guys. I'm hoping I will pass.
3511, are you done?
Then I am a virtual PPL pilot. That's so awesome. I've been waiting for this day for almost a year, when I just started my very first stream. Did you guys see my first stream? Were you there? Some turbulence here, as expected. Beal, thanks for the follow. Because we're near the clouds here, we can expect some turbulence, so here it is. Perhaps also some unexpected up and down drafts. Here's that highway, and there would be Oceanside. 13 nautical miles to go, 30 minutes on the clock. I would expect 23 minutes, but we're going much faster than that 100 knot ground speed used by ForeFlight. So I guess we'll be there a bit sooner. Wow, look at this. Woo!
Spec 322 Whiskey
That is
Tango,
cool.
Thank you. Radar contact 12 miles south
To
of
San
Beach
Diego
Boulevard,
Bravo
altimeter
Airfield, my gosh.
3001. And you're headed to Long Beach, is that correct?
That's correct. 323 Whiskey Tango.
Spec 323 Whiskey Tango, turn right, heading 060. Vector for Long Beach Airport, just to maintain 4,000.
What's also interesting, just a small fact, is that if you look at
Right to 060, maintaining 4,000.
San Diego, even though it's called San Diego Airport, as Marcus tipped me a while ago,
3 Whiskey Tango, confirm 060
the tower is called
on the
Lindbergh.
header.
Lindbergh Tower. So what is mentioned here
Whiskey Tango.
is how you would
Sky
call
7
that
in
controller.
the
So not
hotel,
San Diego
contact
Tower,
Orange
but Lindbergh Tower.
3.07.
Orange Tower now for 7 Yankee Hotel. Have a good day.
Now I'm just going to continue that VFR flyway down to San Diego, which should keep me out of the Bravo. Again, I don't know what the controller prefers me to do. So what I'm going to do is, again, that's also something that we could prepare right now. Some turbulence here, but that's okay. Yeah, this particular leg. And that's going to be, yeah, the mission bay, which we already set. And that was indeed like 155. That's also set in an F2 there, sorry, here. So that's the radial that I like to capture. I think that's the lagoon.
Now, approach, can you give us heading for our vectors for 3,
No, that's the
2,
lagoon.
3 Whiskey Tango.
That's that visual point. So we're going to fly to there and then catch this radial inbound to San Diego,
Whiskey Tango.
at 3,500.
80
080
now.
Whiskey Tango, thank you.
And see what happens. At some point, the approach controller would see that we're nearing a Bravo. She would also know that we are intending to go to
For the bridge 119.6, yeah.
119.6. Papa Delta Greek. 119.6. This would be the time also to mention golf. So we also know that we are thinking ahead here, and the controller might also then suggest how we could approach San Diego. Let's wait for this reply. If there is any. If not, then we're just going to do our announcement. Socal approach, Skyhawk, Papa Hotel, Tango, Mike is level 5,500. We have Golf, Golf Ba.
HJM Socal approach, Palomar, altimeter 3000.
3000, Papa Delta Mike. Good. Nothing about that clearance yet. So that needle is creeping in. That's only to ocean side. That's good to me. I see a cloud puff over there, and there's all the brokenish stuff. Thanks for the follow, BN28. Thanks for the follow. Welcome on the channel. So yeah, that's the overcast stuff. That's the thing that perhaps would prevent us in the real world to do actually this arrival, even though it's marginal VMC. Also something to remember or to look at, which we didn't do, is the terrain. I guess at around the ocean we got flat terrain all around, but we got some obstacles clearly. So at 1,500 feet, if we needed to go that low. So the current METAR scattered 1,400 and overcast at 1,600. Good. So at around 1,000 feet, traffic pattern altitude, that would be okay. And yeah, elevation of San Diego is 17 feet, so 1,000 feet would be the traffic pattern altitude, I think. Let's double check. Screen. Yeah, 1,000 feet MSL, as you can see in the left top corner. Already passed on the needle on ocean side, as you can see. So we could avoid this cloud by going to the left. I'm also going to report that I'm going to go to 3,500 right now, because this cloud stuff is coming very, very near. And I'd like to get under it. Let's see if the controller allows us to do that. And we're not in Bravo. Thanks for the donation, Hawker. 30 euros. Thanks. Happy flying to Mariah. Thanks so much. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Thanks. Socal approach. Sky Papa Delta Tango Mike likes to descend to 3,500 if that's okay.
PHJM.
Was that a broken transmission? Socal approach, Sky Papa Delta Tango India Mike. Your transmission was a bit broken. Please repeat.
I just said Roger.
Roger. Papa Delta Mike.
Caravan 192 contact departure.
Roger, it is. Okay, so we can circle around here. We can take our time, and I think looking at our altitude, we need some time to go down. Again, let's double check for airspaces. We've got Palomar at 2,800. So as long as we stay above 2,800, we are in echo and we are totally fine.
172 via SID accept.
So let's do that. Bravo Lima, so does your girlfriend get a flying lesson now? Well, very, very soon. Oh no, we made it, guys! I didn't even know, Bravo. So again, Harker, thank you. That completes indeed the saved up money we need to do our introductory flight lesson. I totally missed that. Awesome. Yes, we've already been thinking about a date that that would work. She's so excited to fly, guys, and again also so inspired by the support you give her. She will be flying traffic parents very, very soon, also on the sim. Okay. Also, I'm going to say that we're going to circle around here to descend for cloud avoidance. Circle approach, Sky Hotel Tango Mike. We're going to circle here left 360s downwards for cloud avoidance, if that's okay.
No problem.
Roger, Hotel Mike. Because there might be traffic behind us, or there might be some traffic flow that we are unaware of, right?
Sky 1 Delta Whiskey contact depart.
Look at this scenery. There we go. Can't wait for that recording. Me neither. We're going to do that. I can assure you.
SoCal departure, November 681 Delta Whiskey's at 1,100 from 2,000. Correction, 3,681 Delta Whiskey.
Okay, again, remain vigilant here. Nose down, Tim, not nose up. Looks good. I guess 360 to go.
For 707 Key Hotels, Roger, contact SoCal departure.
Well, not really. We could just continue our flight here. We're already below the ceiling, it seems. That's good. So
SoCal departure, November
more
681
power.
Whiskey is at 1,000.
Keep right to that cloud, 2,000 feet-ish. Yes.
7 Yankee Hotel, contact SoCal departure, 134.9.
Trim a bit. Okie doke.
681 Delta Whiskey, SoCal departure, radar contact, climb maintain 6,000.
6,000, November 681 Delta Whiskey.
Looking on the map to identify those lakes to the left.
7345 ident.
You got someone here, we got one there. With a bridge going on top of it, and I guess that's this one. So our point was over here, so that's a little bit more down south, and I guess that's this stuff. Yeah, there's a bridge, and there's also a bridge over there. Yeah. Yeah, so that's our point. So at this point, I'd like to be on that radial. On the nav 2. Let's go.
For 707 Yankee Delta, SoCal departure, radar contact, expect further clearance.
Oceanside. At least that is what it was called. Oceanside. Now it is called something else. Strangely. Very cute airport, non-towered field. It's now called Maxwell. Alright, Maxwell it is. So as you can see, 3,500. We're a bit below. Let's pretend that that is 500 feet below. Either way, I think we are good. Just. Perhaps not to the left there. A bit more power here, 3,500. Let's continue. Let's also put on my landing lights. Well, perhaps a bit early, but I'm gonna. Nothing wrong with being visible and lit up. Yeah, November 90, that's true, but I don't like to do that actually. I like to just try to think the map.
DHTM traffic, 12 o'clock, 3 miles,
Yep.
opposite direction along the coastline, altitude indicates 4,500, type on.
Traffic in sight, thanks for the heads up, Papa T-Mike. Over there. Good one. $3,500, nice speed. Each T should be, I guess, a little bit lean now, my mixture. Yep, because we're lower. Thicker air. Thanks for the follow, Tamir. Thanks. We're scraping the ceiling of this broken layer. But it is cool. Along the beach. That is our reference point. So, again, I don't like this cloud puff, so let's go a little bit this side and then catch that radial. And that should bring us right through this corridor, all the way down, very near to Mission Bay VOR, near the San Diego. Here comes all the San Diego traffic. Yeah, that's true for Mike. Do you have to pay for ForeFlight? Yes. Adam, thanks for the follow. Welcome aboard. My CAT-11 rating, my final check ride as a virtual PPL pilot. This is a very special day. Hoping that I will pass, by the way. Again, engine is looking good. 26 on the clock. That's already passed and not relevant anymore. Really need to please sniper here. So let's just wait a sec before we hit that visual point and then we reset it.
Correct Ocean side, November 681.
Alright, A7 Lima Kilo, radar contact 15 miles northeast of the Santa Maria Airport. Say aircraft type.
You're welcome. FSX. Alright. Perhaps we're going to get another so-called approach switch. So I'm not going to set the tower just yet. Which would be 118.3. Again, the needle should now near us. And it is. So very slowly. Again, I can still see through the clouds, so you can ignore the fact that we should be that much clear of it, because it's all about visual separation. Again, the radar controllers are not that strictly looking at all cloud puffs and see if you actually follow that rule, but it is a general thing to follow. As you can see, the weather can worsen in front of you, but I know the weather is okay. There's another traffic there in front of us, just above, no factor. Would have been nice to get an alert of that as well. And there it is, as expected. So San Diego's over there. This is our reference point, so let's set the clock. What did he just say? Yes, he said it. Is this a dream? Yes, snipe. Thanks for the follow. So this is the CAT-11, and at the CAT-11 we also complete that donation goal. That's awesome. That is awesome. And then we're going to start the instrument rating training, guys.
We'll see. Have a good.
That means a lot of study. I have no idea how that stuff works. I'm going to stream my ground school as well, studying those videos of PilotEdge. Double check gyro drift. We're currently at 25. Yeah, that's okay. Remain at 3,500. Almost on the radial.
Everyone 1972, Roger, cross San Marcos 6,000. Clear up, see me back course Alpha approach.
Vag, thanks for the follow. M3. Definitely swear in my head when a small GA plane comes in while queuing up for takeoff, I guess, on 27 in San Diego. Same for the nonsensical GA traffic for the small runway in... Yeah, that's true. That is true. Alright, on the needle. Which is important because that one will guide us right through, or underneath, that corridor that we have, that VFR flyway as we planned. As long as we stay at 3,500. Heading block is set. Again, lights are on, landing lights are on.
Cessna 7, let me go contact Los Angeles Center 135.5.
There we go. What we could do Thanks for the follow, guys. GR, thanks. Much appreciated. Welcome on board our cozy Cessna. 43 souls on board. That's hit the 50. I never had 50 viewers.
Affirmative. North 7 Lima Kilo contact Los Angeles Center 135.
40 people in a 4-seater Cessna Skyhawk. It must be crowded over there behind me. Yeah, what I was thinking about is switching my mission bay VOR to the nav1, so I have a DME reading as well. We could do that. Nav2. It's 117.8. Nav1. 117. No, I shouldn't do that. 117.8. Yeah, 117.
Cessna 887 Lima Kilo Los Angeles Center, Bakersfield altimeter 299.8.
That's a switch. Let's mimic. That's interesting. Thanks for the follow, Edu. Thank you. Why isn't it completely aligned? I think it's should be the same. Double check. 117.8. 117.8. 30 nautical miles. Seems to be okay. 2. I don't know why this thing is just a bit off in comparison to the nav2. Some turbulence. Also need to stick to 3,500. Such a nice scenery. Never looked at the San Diego photo reel before, so this is also totally new. Never been to San Diego before. Oh, I'm happy that the weather is okay-ish. VMC-ish. Yeah, so the nav2 is still active. We're now a bit on the right side of that radial, and indeed the nav1 is now more closely in. I don't know where they are off, but it seems consistent. Leviathan. What in-flight meal will you provide us? Ladies and gentlemen, very, very soon, the Uncertified Pilot crew will provide you with a delicious dinner during our almost arrival at San Diego Airfield. Because we need to celebrate today, we're hoping to celebrate, fingers crossed, we're gonna offer you a delicious cake. And once we land at San Diego, in return, we ask you to clap your hands and celebrate, because this is a special day when an uncertified pilot embarks on a journey. Don't get me going here. Cake, yay! Meanwhile, I'm drifting off. So let's be precise here. Bravos demand preciseness. Again, still 3,500.
FHTM, do you have that traffic just ahead of you there, same direction, same altitude?
A lot of traffic we have in front of us. There's San Diego.
DHTIM?
Roger, Robert Dosing Mike.
Do you have that traffic? It's just ahead of you there, maybe at your 11 o'clock, same direction, same altitude.
Oh, roger that, that's nearby. Thanks for the heads up, Papa Delta Mike.
Yeah, you guys are not close. You're diverging. He's slightly faster moving away. You're not. There's no issue unless he turns. Just want to let you know about it.
Thanks a bunch, Papa Delta Mike. Whoa!
PHTM TIM, report Mount Soledad.
Mount Soledad, Papa Delta Mike. Okay, Mount Soledad. That's a visual reference point. Again, I like to stick to 2,500. Now, because it's called Mount, I think this would be the visual reference point. That mountain. Let's have a look at the sectional. Mount Soledad. Yep, that's it. So that means that we need to overfly that reference point. We'll stick at 3,500, I guess. Yes, because we're still in this corridor, right guys? Between 1,800 and 3,200. And and only at Mount Soledad we can descend to traffic pattern altitude, because that's from 4,800 to 10,000, right? So yeah, to be ready to do that. Again, I see some clouds there that are awfully low to my 11 o'clock. Thanks for the follow, Archie. Thanks. 46 viewers. Sepstar, thanks for the follow, guys. Much appreciated. My gosh. Shrey, thank you. Again, returning to 3,500. Landing lights are on. Still leaned, but that's okay. Other traffic there to my left. For Mike, you weren't kidding. Or who it was. Giving me a heads up on traffic on San Diego. My gosh. Field there to the left. So I'm now leaving my radial to get to that Mount Soledad. And again, where's San Diego? Where is the bay? It should be over there. Yep, it is over there. So this is going to be hopefully a very basic right downwind entry for runway 27. Alright, I can see two highways here joining. Again, double check. Yeah, that's about Mount Soledad level. Good. Because we need to overflight, so I cannot see the mount. Leviathan, thanks for the follow. Stick at 3,500. That's because I pulled on my throttle. It's not good. Okay. Let's report. Circle approach. Skype Hotel Tango India Mike is over Mount Soledad 3,500.
Yeah, Sam, thank you. Clear to Bravo airspace at or below 3,500. Contact Limburg Tower 118.3.
Clear through Bravo, will stay below 3,500 and we'll switch over to tower. Thanks. Yes! Yes! We're still not in the Bravo, so that's good. Over to tower. 118.3. 118.3. Sorry guys, need to focus right now. 118.3, that's tower. Good. Switch. Limburg Tower, Skype Hotel Tango Mike is 5 miles northwest, currently at 3,000 with information Golf, inbound for a full stop.
PHTIM, Limburg Tower, enter right downwind, runway 27, clear to land, wind 340 at 3.
Enter right downwind, runway 27, clear to land 27. Yes! Yes! I think we did it already, guys. Prepare the champagne. Clean your hands for a... Well, fingers crossed, I'm not gonna go there. Again, we are descending to 1,000 feet. A matrix glitch just came in. If X-plane fails on me, I'm gonna... I don't know what I'm gonna do. Thanks for Mike. Thanks Chili, good to see you on the stream. Okay. There we go. Again, double check our arrival. Let's go. Full mixture. Landing lights are on. Strobe lights are on. Parking brakes are released. Fuel tank set to both. We're on a descent. Need to go to around 100 knots or a little bit slower so we can set our first notch of flaps before we enter the pattern. I'm gonna enjoy this one. My last check ride. Never ever can I do authentically a brand new CAT rating. Need to do the I ratings though, but I will enjoy this one. And I'm so glad you guys are with me. I mean, it's amazing. After 92 episodes, this day has finally come. My final check ride, PPL check ride. It's awesome. Okay, so I can see already the ramp, the GA ramp over here. So that's what we're going to do. Right exit on the runway, off the runway. Yeah, we're below 100 knots. Slower than 100 knots, so first notch of flaps, push down the yoke. Same old, same old. 47 viewers. Guys, can we reach 50 for my last stream? Not that it is about viewers, by the way, but it's just, I'm just excited. Just a little closer. Nicely on traffic pattern altitude. Look at all the terminals. Add 1,000. Add some power. Alright, entering the downwind. No need to report that. We're already clear to land. Heading back to the bottom. Thanks for the follow, Mai. Welcome on board. Thank you for the follows, guys. Alright, downwind, parallel with the runway. Good distance in case we got an engine out. God forbid. Alright. Look at that airport. Wow. And there's the GA ramp. So exit. And there we go. Landing is the easy port. Last stream, no, November 90, not at all the last stream, but this was my last check ride. And then we're going to do some celebration flights in the upcoming days. And then I'm going to start my instrument training, which is completely new, and that starts my season 2 of my series. Okay, I could already start my descent here. Let's focus here, guys. Let's let this one count. Alright. Down, 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 down. Let's make the turn. Second notch of flaps here. Keep that nose down. Lock on to that runway. Where is it? There it is. Going down. Whoa, that's nice. Talk about a base turn. City ahead. Wow. Clip it, guys. Clip it like it's hot. Watch that turn. There we go. Final check ride. 4 whites on the puppy.
347 Delta SoCal approach the LA altimeter 3002.
There we go. That's our ramp. 1 red. There we go.
German 1072 red.
Thanks for the follow. I'm focusing, guys. Sorry. A little bit more power here. Runway 27 confirms. Nice textures. A little bit more nose up trim. Less power. We can take all the time in the world. Nose up, ground effect, and allow that airspeed to decrease. I mean, nose up, proud, proud on the center line. Yes, that feels good. All right, taxiway coming up. Braking a bit, aerodynamic braking, pulling on the yoke. Expedite our exit here, so the runway is clear for others to use. And there we are at Charlie 5. Get our butts behind the threshold line. Boom! Park and brake set. Reset to 1000. Lean for ground. Landing lights off. Strobe lights off. And that's about it. Okay. Thanks, Hansen. Nice landing. Thank you, Snipe. Or Mike, thanks. Retinator, thank you, guys. You're so sweet. Okay.
Air 707 Yankee Hotel, you with SoCal approach. Check your radio frequency.
We're clear of the runway. Let's announce that first. General aviation ramp. Let's prep just a sec. Yeah.
Yeah, you're on 134.9ers where you're at 3490s where you are.
Where were we? Charlie 5? Charlie 5. Limburg Tower, Skypop Hotel Tango, Mike is clear, runway 27 at Charlie 5, ready for taxi to parking.
PH10, tax marking via Charlie, and have a good day. It's fast for the CAT-11. Good job.
Yes! Guys! Did it!
78 kilo reading on 134.9.
Via Charlie to parking, Papa Tati Mike, thanks for the pass. Yes! We did it! Oh yeah!
CAT-11. Good job.
Roger that, that's awesome news. Thanks, Papa Tati Mike.
Our 707 Yankee DC 134.9 or anywhere on your radio.
Alright, guys, that completes my training as a PPL virtual pilot.
7 Yankee Hotel, you don't see it anywhere else.
That was an awesome ride, I can tell you. Not just this flight, but the entire season. Man, that is weird. I feel so proud.
You cycle everything and just change the frequency
I mean,
to something
and
else.
I also hope, guys, that
see if
this
it works.
inspires you as well. You can learn to fly on Flight Simulator. Whether you use X-Plane or FSX or Prepared, it doesn't matter. I would recommend PilotEdge, obviously for the checker eyes, but also for the ATC. You can even do it with a stock 172 or with the Airflow Labs or A2A if you're flying FSX or Prepared. It doesn't really matter, as long as you have the right mindset. Learn. Flying to me is about learning, and that means that I'm not going to stop learning. Also not in terms of VFR flying. I mean, there's so much more stuff to nail and get right.
So 347
Thank you guys for the congrats. Thank you. There's so much more to learn still. And now I'm going to do some celebration flights afterwards. And then move on to my season 2 of my series, my instrument rating. That's what I'm going to do. Also got 50 viewers, by the way. That's also nice. And that's completely new. We're going to start from fresh again. Season 2, Episode 1, Ground School. I have no idea where to start. Hoping that you will join in as well and teach me. That's what the Uncertified Pilot channel is all about. It's not about showing off my training, but it's about allowing you to get in and sharing your knowledge and experience as well. Many of you are even more knowledgeable about flying than me. But to share information and our passion for flying, even if it's flight simming. It's so cool and so gratifying. And let's see if I can become an instrument rated pilot myself as well. Attaining my I-11 or I-12. I don't know how far they go actually. Thank you guys. I think I'm going to stick with the 172 for my instrument rating. Yes! I'm so happy. That was a nice flight. Also learned something about that Bravo departure at LAX. Okay, let's park with the big guys. I feel like a big guy today. Thanks for the follow. Keemster, thanks. Alright, this is my spot. Here we go. Breakage. Boom! On San Diego Airport, my gosh. Squawking, VFR, avionics off. Cut off. Wait until the prop stops. Magnetos off. Batteries off. Parking brake set. Prevent cross-feeding. Open the door. Pause my TrackIR and release my seatbelts. Yes. That was cool, guys. Thank you so much for being here on the stream. 50 viewers, that's also a record, which is fun. Man, I'm so proud. And the fun is only starting. I mean, next up, again, Season 2, IFR training. So, I will keep this overlay on because I feel like it, obviously. I hope you do too. Very pleased about this flight, but let's do a serious review as always. Hoping that the flight recorder will not crash X-Plane, because that happened to me at previous times as well. And I guess it has to do with some kind of update also by Windows, which is very, very annoying. PilotEdge. Disconnected. Let's have a look. Shifts, no. The recorder. Good. Let's first have a look at our landing. So something like here. Shift 4. The Papa Hotel, Tango India Mike with the door open because I left it open on the parking spot and it doesn't remember my door position in the recorder. This was nice. That base lag towards the San Diego town, wasn't it? Also a bit weird because if you get engine trouble or something like that, yeah, need to land in a shopping center or so. All right, so there we went. Let's also have a quick look at our routing here. So as you can see, all the way down from LAX all the way over there, catching that needle, cloud avoidance, which was also neat, I think, under the cloud level, cloud layer, going down through that corridor. No comments by the control tower at all if we need to divert, so that seems to be a right way to go about it. And then all the way down to San Diego, from a Bravo airport to another Bravo. That was awesome. You can close the door in the replay. Is that true? I don't think so. Yes, I can. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Even on my last CAT-11 rating, you learned something about X-Plane. Thank you, NZ Aviation. Thanks. Okay, 20 degrees of flaps. Nicely lined up. A little bit of a crab to the right, but that's okay. Yeah, 4 reds here, so I could have given a little bit more of a power, but that was fine. Nice stabilized approach. The Papa Hotel, Tango India Mike. So there we go. Nose up, nice round out. A little bit of a climb there, that's not perfect. On the toes, very smooth. That was nice. Not perfect, but nice. 9 out of 10. But on the center line, and I'm just happy. Butter on bread, Skycross says. Nice. Alright, so that was cool. Do we like to review anything else? Well, let's just go a little bit back here. This was nearing... Does X-Plane like this? I don't think that X-Plane likes this. X-Plane, please. Make it work. Could you? Please? We're having trouble, I know, but you've been such a loyal ally for me. Yes! Yeah, so... C... Control B. Again, so this was that leg from John Wayne towards Oceanside. Here I did that circling to get down to avoid for those clouds, which was good procedure. I think even as a real-world pilot, VFR pilot, I would have been clear of clouds and it would be okay-ish. There were some moments that I was really scraping or really near those clouds, but overall I did a good job. It was good aeronautical decision making, I think. My departure here, yeah, was LAX. That was okay. We got a heading, but we got a double heading, which was new. So I got a heading for departure, but then an additional heading to get out of the Bravo, which I didn't have before at a Charlie. Not a big thing, but that was basic. And what
Orange
we learned...
County, John Wayne information draw. 2100 Zulu weather.
Yep.
Wind light and variable. Visibility more than 10. Sky clear.
Oh, that cannot be turned off. Okay. Let's go
17.
then to here. That's fine by me as well. LAX. Yeah, so here with the departure. So what did the controller tell us? So he once said, yeah, that was also a confusing instruction, I have to say. So we were nearing the end of the Bravo, and he said to us, gonna leave the Bravo space within, what was it, 5 nautical miles or so. Resume ONAV, and altitude restriction was cancelled. To me, that seemed like a separate instruction. So okay, you're gonna leave the Bravo, so you know. And now, resume ONAV and clearance. And that was not the case. I should have remained on that heading while I was flying and only resumed my ONAV after I was out of the Bravo. And the same thing happened, I guess, with Marcus, with my CAT-10 rating that I passed. So not the failed one, but the past one. When he also said, Tim, the end of the Bravo is coming up in 8 miles or 5 miles. What would you like to do next? I said, John Wayne, Roger. Even though I was already on the end of the coastal route, still in his terms, I was still in Bravo. That was wrong. I was already outside of the Bravo, so that was the confusion. I was right that I was already outside of Bravo, but still it's good to wait for that resume ONAV clearance. And if they give you a kind of like the end of the Bravo or the end of the Charlie or whatever is coming up, know that it's kind of like an expected instruction. So as soon as you leave then the Bravo, then resume ONAV and cancel the altitude restriction. And I didn't know about that, and the controller was actually quite kind to tell us, which was really, really awesome as always. 9.2 from the Romanian judge. That was awesome. Okay. Anything else that we need to review? I guess not. Just one landing, and it was that was about it. Let's quit the flight controller. We'll hop all the way over to San Diego, hoping X-Plane again is with me. Hoping my SSDs work. Oh yeah, now we're on San Diego, so shift 9. There we are. Good. Let's get a nice ending shot here. Yeah. Oh, talking about ending shots. Talking about an ending shot. What do you think about this, guys? Almost symbolizes my transition to my IFR training. I'm not going to fly twin. I'm just going to stick with the 172, and that means that for some of the I ratings is going to be a long flight, one from Burbank to Las Vegas or so. But I don't care about long flights. It's going to be awesome. Another consideration that I'm not aware of is perhaps flying without the autopilot and without the GPS as just slant alpha, as I did also for the season 1. Perhaps that's a bit too much for IFR flying, because you need to fiddle around with a lot of frequencies and stuff and radials and be timely and blah blah. Perhaps that is just not impossible or even unsafe to do, and also not realistic, because anyone with an IFR with a complex IFR flight would fly the GPS. Also, it's good for me to learn how to use the GPS. That's also a good argument. So I need to think about that as well as I progress through my training series. Anyway, guys, that completes my my stream for today. And what we're going to do is I'm going to pop open the champagne here. Going to have some nice dinner and celebrate. Again, guys, thank you so much for your support and encouragement. Also for all those who've been here from the start. I'm so grateful. It's such a blessing to be able to stream here live and to meet all of you guys. Also to be taught by you to improve my flying here. It's really much appreciated. Also the donation, I believe by Hawker. I don't know from heart. I believe that was him. Hawker 172, $30. Much appreciated, and that also completed our donation goal for this stream, which is also very cool. But again, thank you guys for being here. Hoping you are inspired as well, and hop over to my season 2 series, because that's gonna be starting very soon to get me instrument rated. Yikes. Guys, again, happy flights. Blue skies. Thank you for your congrats, guys, and hoping to see you very soon. Bye.
Palm Springs Tower, Skylane Hotel Tango, Mike is 10 miles north of the airport at 3000. With information X-ray, I'm for a full stop. I'm landing 13 left if that's available.
Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, Palm Springs Tower, squawk 6250.
6250.
Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, Palm Springs altimeter is 2985, radar contact, about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, you're requesting straight in for 13.
That's available, yes, please.
Remember, correction, Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, make straight in runway 13 left, and clear to land. Wind is 0905.
Clear to land, runway 3 left, Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance, plus 4658 is type PC-12 slant code, request clearance to Vegas S filed.
Call 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon. Unable to give you S file, and I'll be forward standby. Call 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas airport. VFI Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs, Victor 370 to 29 Palms, Victor 538, Cresso, join the Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7,000, expect flight level 2405 minutes after departure, departure frequency 126.7, squawk 6316.
S1.E93 is cleared to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Cresso 3, and initially climb 7,000, expected cruiser F25, departure 167, squawk 6316 plus 465.
Pause 4658, readback is correct. Tango to Mike, taxi to the ramp via Echo, remain this frequency.
Taxiing to the ramp via Echo, remaining on this frequency, Papa Delta Yankee Mike.
Ontario Tower, Cessna 237 Charlie Alpha, approximately 4 miles to the west, inbound to land.
Number 227 Charlie Alpha, roger, inner left, traffic, left downwind, runway 26, left, report base.
Enter left downwind for 26 left and before you base 237 Charlie Alpha.
Charlie Tower, United 242 on the visual for 20 right, will be turning for a right base shortly.
United 242, Jolly Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind 170, number 3.
Clear to land, 20 right, United 242.
Panama Tower, United 270 Kilo, ILS runway 24.
Near 520 Yankee Kilo, Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land, wind 210 at 11. Number 237 Charlie Alpha, runway 26 left, clear to land.
So left clear to land 7 Charlie Alpha.
Palm Springs ground plus 4658, east trend to weather, going for taxi.
Pause 4658, Palm Springs ground, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Trail right via Echo Bravo 465.
Riverside Tower, good morning, November 293 Alpha with you on the ILS.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, good afternoon. Runway 9 clear low approach, report to miss.
November 293 Alpha, clear low approach, runway 9, next report is missed.
Palm Springs Tower plus 4658, ready to go to right at Bravo.
Pause 4658, Palm Springs Tower, runway 31 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff to right plus 465.
Panama Tower, AFI Kilo located at 24.
Here's our Yankee Kilo, Archer taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
Via Alpha, so Kilo place.
Pause 4658, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure 465.
Cessna 7 Charlie Alpha is clearly active, taxi to the G8 parking place.
Number 7 Charlie Alpha, remain on this frequency, taxi into the south ramp via Sierra.
South ramp via Sierra with you, 7 Charlie Alpha, thanks.
Number 2903 Alpha going around.
Number 03 Alpha, confirm going around or going missed?
November 2903 Alpha going missed.
Number 03 Alpha, roger, execute the published missed approach procedure.
Flying the published missed approach procedure. Number 2903.
Hyper 2903 Alpha, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure, 03 Alpha.
Number 03 Alpha, departure frequency will be 135.4.
135.4 for departure. Number 2903 Alpha.
Ontario Tower, November 516 Delta Mike, inbound ILS 26 left.
Number 516 Delta Mike, Ontario Tower. Good afternoon, Ontario. Wind is calm. Runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land, 6 Delta Mike. Ontario Tower, November 36. Correction 516 Delta Mike, clearly active at uniform, taxiing to the south apron.
Number 6 Delta Mike, roger, taxi in the south ramp via Sierra. Remain on this frequency.
Via Sierra.